I'm a little rusty on it.
I'll hum it for you.
All right. How is everyone doing? It's Monday. Oh boy, is it Monday. Okay. Let's kind of shake off the cobwebs a bit, shall we? Let's do the intro real quick. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you might be watching this. My name is Josh and welcome to my channel. On here we talk news, politics, and current events. And yeah, got a number of things to go over today. Yeah. Wait, yeah. Do I have everything? I closed that and I didn't mean to. Not that. Where is it? 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 Okay, cool. So we have a bunch of topics after I accidentally closed that entire thing. But that's okay. We just reopen it and call it a day. Bunch of topics. Let's just like get into it, shall we? So, some of you might have been aware, what was it? Maybe I think it was 7 months ago let me take a look to see. I know they mentioned in the article that we're reading how many months. Let's just do this. Yeah. Oh, there it is. 7 months. Okay, so I was right. Okay, cool. I was right. I thought I was. All right. So 7 months after the deadly Club Q shooting, the perpetrator, the shooter in this case, has pled guilty. Looks like he's avoiding the death penalty and going to be spending the rest of his life in prison. So let's take a look at the video really quickly that we have attached to here, and then I want to take a look, take a step back into the past, and look at somebody else's coverage on this story.
Do you understand all of the rights that you're giving up when you choose to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me in your own words what it is you did that makes you feel that you are guilty of these crimes.
I intentionally and after deliberation caused the death of each victims listed in those counts.
Man, that is a different picture than I remember. 5 people. Charges include 5 counts of murder, 46 counts of attempted murder from November 19th. Attack at Club Q. Yep. Aldrich also pleaded a no contest to 2 counts of bias-motivated crimes, 1 a felony and the other a misdemeanor.
To those 5 counts of murder in the first degree, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Man. Well, couldn't have happened to a worse person. So, but before we read the article, I want to take a step back really quickly and take a look at a certain individual's coverage of this event. That individual being Ben Shapiro. So keep in mind, during the Club Q shooting, around the time there was a lot of unconfirmed and a lot of just vague information going around that time, and it's something that you'll notice the right wing really loves to seize on in these kinds of in these right wing motivated shootings. They always want to seize on any kind of vague detail, any even crumb of deniability that they can use to wedge themselves out of being tied to all of this stuff, their rhetoric being tied to it. But let's go take a look a little bit of that.
To prevent violence against gay clubs, this means you have to support every element of the progressive agenda, or you are complicit. And this is a game that only gets played by one side of the political aisle. Again and again and again, we see in public life, when there is a threat against a person of the right, when there is an attack by a member of a left-wing organization or an intersectional identity associated with the left against someone else.
Speaking about his alleged, and this still isn't really confirmed, his supposed identifying as non-binary.
That to a broader ideology. We don't attempt to suggest that it's the fault of everyone who has general beliefs in a broader social system. Instead, we say, well, that's an individual and he believes an extreme thing, and that person ought to be ostracized, obviously.
Now, and if you notice this, what do? They make it not about the ideology, not about the extremism that motivated this person. They then decide to make that person the lone bad apple in the entire orchard. And that's kind of the point, right? That's a bit of the point. They don't want you to tie like, oh, Ben Shapiro's rhetoric, oh, Matt Walsh's rhetoric, all the rest of these people. They don't want you to tie their rhetoric to specific negative, violent action that can then be used against them as bludgeons, basically, against their, against the, the proliferation of this kind of talk. Quite frankly, at the end of the day, YouTube allows these guys to keep their platform, allows them to keep using their airwaves, and this is the result. Shooters who are politically motivated, and shooters who are, sympathetic to people like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh's cause. And keep in mind, these are also the people who, in the beginning of this shooting, were asking the totally fair question of, well, what did they expect to happen? They were having a family-friendly drag event at some point in the future, maybe. What did they expect to happen? This is the same group of people. But I wanted to just make sure we have an understanding. Let's take a read, shall we? Colorado Springs. The person who killed 5 people at the Colorado Springs nightclub in 2022 was sentenced to life in prison on Monday after victims called the shooter a, quote, monster and coward who hunted down revelers in a calculated attack on a sanctuary for the LGBTQ plus community. Keep in mind also, when they say sanctuary, there's a reason for that. Colorado Springs is, maybe jokingly referred to here in Colorado as Conservative Springs. Club Q most likely was a sanctuary for a lot of LGBT youth, a lot of LGBT adults, who live in a community, live in an area that isn't quite as favorable towards them, isn't quite as accepting of them. During an emotional courtroom hearing packed with victims and family members, Anderson Lee Aldrich pleaded guilty to 5 counts of murder and 46 counts of attempted murder, 1 for each person at Club Q on the night of the shooting. Aldrich also pleaded no contest to 2 hate crimes, 1 a felony and 1 a misdemeanor. So keep in mind also, he had hate crime allegations. They brought hate crime sentences to him, and doesn't even bother to even challenge them. So obviously part of this is going to be to avoid, death penalty or worse. I mean, he's already spending life in jail. I don't know how much worse this could be, but this kind of tells us something a little bit, that this guy isn't even going to try to argue that he wasn't committing a hate crime. So when Ben Shapiro sits here and he says, oh, the left wing, we don't know that this guy was right wing, or, oh, we don't know if this was really politically motivated. We don't know what, all the rest of the stuff. That guy knows. And that guy knew he wouldn't even be able to argue against hate crime charges. So, and this doesn't look, this story at this point doesn't, this isn't going to get a lot of play. This isn't going to get a lot of attention anymore. The Club Q shooting is out of the news. It's, the story is over. Nobody's going to be paying attention to this. But this is bad for guys like Shapiro, guys like Walsh, Poole, all the rest of these guys. This is still indicative of a trend that we see. We saw the same thing with Tim Pool, with the Nazi in Texas, being a Tim Pool fan, being a Tim Pool guy, and he'll say, oh, well, he only watched this one video, or only watched this other video, or we don't know how much of my content he watches. But come on, he's using the sliver, the sliver of space he has left to weasel his way out of any responsibility, any accountability, any kind of nuance of like, why is this guy who watches my videos, consumes my content, why do I appeal to Nazis? And, Tim Pool doesn't really know how to deal with that. He knows why. It's, he sees his YouTube analytics. He understands this. But, at the end of the day, part of his grift is, I'm not right wing, I'm libertarian. I'm not right wing, I'm centrist. I'm not right wing, I'm like kind of a liberal, you know, but at the end of the day, these guys know what they're doing. They know the rhetoric they're putting out, and they know that it's going to stoke. They know that they're being very inflammatory in the understanding that most of their audience is not going to pick up a rock or pick up a gun. But they know that they only need a few in their audience to do so. And then they've got their brown shirts. So anyway, let's keep reading. During an emotional courtroom hearing packed with victims and family members, Anderson and Lee Aldrich pleaded guilty to 5 counts of murder. Oh, wait, did we already read that one? Nightclub shooting, Aldrich was pleaded no contest. Yeah, we did. This thing sitting in the courtroom is not a human. It is a monster, said Jessica Fierro, whose daughter's boyfriend was killed that night. The devil awaits with open arms. The guilty plea comes just 7 months after the shooting and spares victims' families and survivors a long and potentially painful trial. More charges could be coming. The FBI confirmed Monday it was working with the U.S. Justice Department's Civil Rights Division on a separate investigation into the attack. People in the courtroom wiped away tears as the judge explained the charges and read out the names of the victims. Judge Michael McHenry also issued a stern rebuke of Aldrich's actions connecting it to societal woes. You are targeting a group, quote, you are targeting a group of people for their simple existence, like too many other people in our culture who chose to find a power that day behind the trigger of a gun. Your actions reflect the deepest malice of the human heart, and malice is almost always born of ignorance and fear. Big fucking facts. The killings rekindled memories of the 2016 massacre at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida, that killed 49 people. Relatives and friends of victims were able to give statements in court Monday to remember their loved ones. Survivors spoke about how their lives were forever altered just before midnight on November 19th when the suspect walked into Club Q and indiscriminately fired an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle. The father of a Club Q bartender said Daniel Aston had been in the prime of his life when he was shot and killed. He was a huge light in this world, and that was snuffed out by a heinous, evil, and cowardly act. I will never again hear him laugh at my dad jokes. Daniel Aston's mother, Sabrina, was among those who said they would not forgive the crimes. Another forgave Aldrich without excusing the crime. I forgive this individual as they are a symbol of a broken system of hate and vitriol pushed against us as a community. That's going to be, quite frankly, all of Daily Wire, all of PragerU. That's pretty much all of right-wing media. What brings joy to me is that this hurt individual will never be able to see the joy in the light that has been wrought into our community as an outcome. Aldrich's body shook slightly as the victims and family members spoke. The defendant also looked down and glanced occasionally at a screen showing photos of the victims. Aldrich, who identifies as non-binary and uses they and them pronouns, did not reveal motivation and declined to address the court during the sentencing part of the hearing. Defense attorney Joseph Archambault said, quote, they want everyone to know their story. The guilty plea allows a series of jailhouse phone calls from Aldrich to the Associated Press expressing remorse for the shooting. District Attorney Michael Allen and Aldrich said Aldrich's statements were self-serving and rang hollow, and the prosecutors rejected the notion that Aldrich was non-binary. Yeah, no shit. Quote, there's zero evidence prior to the shooting that he was non-binary. He exhibited extreme hatred for the people in the LGBTQ plus community, and so I think it was a stilted effort to avoid any bias motivated or hate charges. Allen told the judge that the victims were targeted, quote, for who they were and are. Quote, hatred coupled with criminal action will not be tolerated. Aldrich's no contest plea on hate crimes charges effectively has the same impact as a conviction under Colorado law and doesn't absolve them of responsibility. Aldrich originally was charged with more than 300 state counts, including murder and hate crimes. The U.S. Justice Department has been considering federal hate crime charges. The status of those deliberations were unclear Monday, but FBI Special Agent Mark Michalek, confirmed there was an ongoing investigation. The U.S. Attorney's Office has requested no documents in the case to be released, said Colorado Springs Police Chief Adrian Vasquez. Allen said the federal death penalty was a, quote, big part of what motivated the defendant to plead guilty. Yeah, there it is. The U.S. Attorney's Office of Colorado said it could not comment on ongoing investigations. Oh, the federal. Okay, so he was avoiding. I didn't think we had the death penalty here in Colorado, but I wasn't sure. The line to get through security and into the courthouse early Monday snaked through the large plaza outside as victims and others queued up to attend the hearing. One man wore a t-shirt saying, loved always and never forgotten. The attack at Club Q came over a year after Aldridge was arrested for threatening their grandparents and vowing to become, quote, the next mass killer while stockpiling weapons, body armor, and bomb-making materials. The charges in that case were eventually dismissed after Aldridge's mother and grandparents refused to cooperate with prosecutors, evading efforts to serve them with subpoenas to testify. Aldridge was released and authorities kept 2 guns. But there was nothing to stop Aldridge from legally purchasing more firearms. Aldridge told AP in one of the interviews from jail they were on a, quote, very large plethora of drugs and abusing steroids at the time of the attack, but they did not answer directly regarding the hate crime charges when asked whether the attack was motivated by hate. Aldridge said that was, quote, completely off base. Yeah, sure, buddy. District Attorney Allen said Aldridge knew exactly what they were doing and doing during the attack and had drawn diagrams in advance indicating the best way to carry it out. He emphasized that Aldridge didn't get any concessions in the plea agreement, sentenced to the maximum of 5 consecutive life sentences, plus 2,208 additional years for the 46 counts of attempted murder. The amounts on to the second longest sentence in state history, behind only the one given to the person who killed 12 people at a movie theater in a Denver suburb in 2012, Allen said. That night, when Ashton Gamblin stared into Aldridge's face, shots were already going off. Quote, I nuzzled up with my friend's body, soaking my clothes in his blood, terrified that this person might come back, said Gamblin, who was shot 9 times. I hope for the worst things possible in prison, and even that won't be good enough. Goddamn, rest in piss, asshole. Yeah. And also, okay, so we also have to kind of keep in mind, like, do you notice that Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, none of these guys who were, who were running so much defense for this guy, do you notice they've now crickets, silence, nothing? Nobody's interested in touching this anymore. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why in the beginning, when there was a little bit of space, Ben Shapiro and the like wanted to go out there and say, oh, we don't know anything. We don't know if he was conservative. The left-wing media is just trying to paint all conservatives as violent, blah, 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 right? But where are they now? Are they anywhere? Have they spoken about this since any of this began? No, not at all. And they're not going to, because they understand better than anybody that this is toxic to them. They're going to ignore this shooting for the rest of time. Every time you bring it up, it's going to be, whoa, he was non-binary, man. That's going to be their defense for the rest of time. They are always going to run to that defense. And it's why somebody like him, who's clearly just a fucking terminally online kind of guy, it's rather clear that that's kind of the point, right? Because if he keeps saying, oh, I'm non-binary, oh, it wasn't motivated by hate crime. If he never addresses it, then, Ben Shapiro, all the rest of them can always turn to that and go, no, see, he never said it was because he hates gay people. He said he's non-binary. It was just a random attack. He just picked a gay club, and it just happened to be that, there's a trove of his online comments that are not very friendly to that community. It's all just coincidence. And that's unfortunate because it's unfortunate because the right wing has done a very good job of weaseling their way out of all of these shootings. They weasel their way every single time. And part of that is because, quite frankly, liberals like Joe Biden, like Nancy Pelosi, like all the rest of the establishment Democrats, have no interest in treating this in the I don't know, with the urgency that it requires. These people who are leading the Democratic Party are not willing to tie the Republican Party, tie conservatism writ large to these violent extremists. They're just not willing to do it. They're willing to say it, and they're willing to hold hearings, and they're willing to do a lot of stuff, but they're not willing to go out there every single fucking day and say Republicans are the party of bomb threats. They're the party of mass shootings. They're the party of hate. They're just not willing to do it. We have no problem here on this platform, but I am one guy with like 70 followers on Twitch. Incredibly small. So, our representatives need to be stronger than this. We need a stronger Democratic Party to fight this very clear wave of fascism that we've been seeing over the last, I don't know, I'd say probably about like 5 to 6 years or so, something like that. Honestly, if you ask me, I don't even really necessarily think it's been 5-6 years. People tend to think like, oh, the Trump administration comes in and that's when a lot of this stuff, evolves a little bit. But, I've been hearing the anti-government stuff, the anti-women stuff, the anti-LGBT stuff, the return to traditional value stuff. I've been hearing this almost all of my life, whether it was talk radio in the 90s, whether it was mainstream Fox News in the 2000s, especially during the Obama administration. This has been a 40 year project to shift their voters, Republican Party voters, to become these frothing at the mouth, terrified people of like, they're terrified of everything. They're terrified of gay people getting married because they think their marriage license are going to spontaneously combust. They're terrified if a larger percentage of the population, when I say larger, I mean from like 1 to, I don't know, some like not even 10% of the population, probably. I'd predict it somewhere around 3% of the population is trans, because that's going to be the end of Western civilization. They, everything is Rome burning to them. And, they've done a good job at making their voters feel like they are already enduring second-degree burns, and they've got to fight. And, we're seeing that begin to turn violent. As they feel that the house is coming down, they're going to fight harder, and they're going to stop caring so much about civility. They're going to stop caring so much about life that they supposedly care about. They're going to stop caring so much about what is politically advantageous. We see a bit of this in the House Freedom Caucus. At the end of the day, this party is captured by fascists, and I don't know how long that can really last. But this is the outcomes we're going to see more of. We've only seen a rise in right-wing mass shootings over the last 20 years. And I don't suppose we're going to see a decrease in that anytime soon. Anyway, let's shift gears to something I think a little bit more economic here. So, during the pandemic, some states passed eviction bans. I don't believe we passed any in Colorado, but some cities, some states, some localities passed eviction bans during the pandemic. And because of that, it seems like landlords have been, as they want to do, complaining quite a bit. So I want to take a look at this article from the AP, just because I want to get some background on this. So let's do that, shall we? Tenants say a 3-year ban on evictions kept them housed. Landlords say they're drowning in debt. So I shouldn't have to really explain, or I think my bias is pretty obvious here. If you want me to believe that a landlord is drowning in debt, you've got to like actually prove that. I don't give a shit if landlords say they're drowning in debt. Landlords will say whatever it is they need to say so that they can make their return on the investment property that they've bought. There is no there's the only reason you own an apartment building, you own a house that you rent, is for the return on your investment. That's it. So anybody who says, oh, any landlord who comes out and is like, oh my God, I'm, taking on so much debt because of that. No, I'm sorry. I just don't believe you. Unless you can show me some real numbers, I have no interest in that. In terms of tenants, I think that's pretty evident. A eviction ban is going to keep you housed. I don't really think that's, there really is no other motivating factor. What's the motivating factor is I would like to not be homeless. This ban helped me not be that. So keep that in mind. All right, San Francisco. Retiree Pamela Hale has paid property taxes, insurance, and other bills on a house she lets out in Oakland. But for more than 3 years, her tenants have paid no rent thanks to one of the longest lasting eviction bans in the country. Oh, God, also in San Francisco. Lovely. The eviction moratorium in the San Francisco Bay Area city expires next month, and Haley can't wait. The 69-year-old estimates she is owed more than $60,000 in back rent. How? Wait. 3 years. Wait. Hold on. I don't need that. I don't know why I pulled that up. Fuck, I don't have it like on the front here. Okay. What the fuck? So, what is that? What am I looking for? 12, 24, 36. How much is that? Jesus, 16. What is that about? Yeah, she's probably charging 17 for rent, most likely. God, that's kind of a lot. Let's see. Back rent, money she doubts she will ever see. Moreover, the tenants have trashed her house and it will cost tens of thousands of dollars to make it habitable, she says. It's unbelievable. And it's like, how can they have the nerve to just let something like this happen? If this happened to them, how would they feel? Well, they don't have extra money to just buy an extra house and make money off of it. So dealing with this whole thing gets me so upset. Also, keep in mind, this person's wants $60,000 so that then they can sell the house once their tenants are done paying their mortgage, then they can sell the house for 100% profit. Keep that in mind. Let's see. I'm owed $50K for services without pay, 3 years. Government enables abuse. Yes. Yes. Pamela Hale middle. Yeah. What did it say? Wait a minute. Retiree. Eviction moratoriums were put in place across the United States at the start of the pandemic in 2020 to prevent displacement and curb the spread of coronavirus. Also, keep in mind, if this didn't go through, there's almost no chance that those people would still be in those houses, meaning you would just have a bunch of more homeless people. And then people like this would complain because their property value goes down because the homeless population goes up. That is kind of how that works. Most expired long ago, but not in Oakland or neighboring San Francisco and Berkeley. All places where rents and rates of homelessness are high. While it's more common to see tenants converging on city halls in California to demand greater protections, in Oakland, the surrounding Alameda County, small property landlords staged protests earlier this year demanding an end to the moratoriums. Many of the landlords were black, like Hale, or Asian American, and they said the eviction bans had saddled them with debt and foreclosure worries, while their tenants who have jobs live rent-free. They scolded elected leaders for allowing tenants. You know what I would ask? You know what a good solution to this would be? A requirement that you offer the home that you are renting out to the person to purchase. If they owe you $60,000 and if they haven't been paying their rent, then maybe offer like, okay, either you pay your $60,000 or you buy my house from me and it's yours. You can have it, but like you take it from that point on. They scolded elected leaders for allowing tenants to self-certify that their inability to pay was tied to the pandemic. Unlike large corporate landlords, these small property owners said they didn't have the means to evict and were eaten up by worry. There is nothing natural about being forced to house and have people live in your property for over 3 years and not pay. There is nothing natural, ethical, or even humane about that. I would probably say it's not really ethical or moral to buy a house that somebody else could be living in as you collect money off of it. That's just me. That's just me. Alameda County lets its moratorium expire at the end. Let its moratorium expire at the end of April. In Oakland, it ends July 15th. Tenants must start paying rent in August in most cases, but cannot be evicted for back rent in their financial hardship if their financial hardship was caused by the pandemic. Moratorium backers called the bans a lifesaver that kept countless families housed and off the streets. Also, keep in mind, this entire time, these houses would have gone unrented to begin with. They wouldn't have made any of that money to begin with. They would have kicked those people out. They would have been on the street, and then their houses would have sat there and kept being a money sink until they sold it, which is what they actually wanted to do. What they wanted to do was go, okay, the pandemic's happening. I can't get anybody to rent it. I'll sell it. It's a seller's market. You know, some BlackRock or some private equity firm is just going to pay me a fuck ton of money to sell my house to them. That, like, they wanted to cash in on that, and they're really, really upset that they couldn't because there was those darn people living there. Moratorium backers called the ban's lifesaver that kept councils. They say low-income residents are still struggling from the pandemic and need protections from ruthless landlords. Also, this is also San Francisco. Do you think they're offering reasonable rates of rent? No. Nationwide, eviction filings have come roaring back since the bans ended to more than 50% higher than the pre-pandemic average in many cities, according to Princeton University's Eviction Lab, which tracks filings in 36 cities and 10 states. In California's Alameda County, filings topped 500 in May, compared to 65 in April before the ban ended. That surpassed filings that averaged in the 300s before the pandemic in 2019. In Oakland, a city rich in black history, some black families who migrated from the South during World War II were able to purchase homes despite redlining and other discriminatory practices by banks and government. But a recession and subprime mortgage crisis, followed by rapidly rising home prices and gentrification, pushed out many black residents, and homelessness escalated. Carol Fife, a black city councilwoman and housing advocate, called for a housing overhaul that focuses on homes for people instead of profit for a few. She acknowledged that some people, quote, took advantage of the moratorium, but says most renters desperately needed the help. Yeah, this is also, keep in mind, they're always going to say that like a majority is taking advantage of them, but like keep in mind the system of renting your spare home for profit in and of itself is already taking advantage of people who are already who could be actually saving up for their own houses, but instead are paying your mortgage. Like, regardless of whether you think the renters are taking advantage of the landlords by definition take advantage of renters everywhere, every single day. This is such an uneven playing field, and it's bullshit that they would try to argue that writ large they deserve, all of this handout or whatever it is that they want. I'm assuming, I guess they want they probably want them to allow them to recoup the rest of that money, which at the end of the day they won't get anyway. So Haley, the triplex owner, considers herself lucky because she was able to recoup some money through a rent relief program. The tenants moved out, but she has a stack of bills and can't afford to renovate. Let's see. She purchased the property in '99 after earning big for writing some songs included on the first Destiny's Child album. The artist figured the triplex would provide steady income as well as help fund her retirement. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is what I mean. Like, This person didn't buy this property to fucking live in. They bought it as an investment opportunity, as a way for them to be able to retire. And don't get me wrong, do I find like unfortunately, is that how the system works? Is this the American dream? Yeah. Every single small business owner I have ever talked to, their version of the American dream is work until they can pay off their house, work until they can buy another house, rent that out for their mortgage plus some, keep working until they can get a second one, do that again, retire at like 40, 45, whatever, sit on their ass, living on everybody else's rent payments that they don't need, and that's it. That's the end. And then, they sell the houses, that's their retirement. Boom. Couple $100,000, maybe even $1 million, depending on the housing market. That's the American dream. It's constantly constantly buying properties and then selling them for profit later, leaving people who are renting with no ability to actually buy, with dumping money into their mortgage so that they can afford another house or they can afford another couple of decades on their retirement. Meanwhile, the other, the person renting, the normal person who's working every single day, not making enough on their normal bills because we have a really terrible relationship in terms of the cost of housing and the minimum wage and just generally average wages people make. But, at the end of the day, there's only, in this system, there's only a few people who can make it to that American dream, that small percentage of people who can actually live that, live off of other people's rent payments to them. Everybody else just has to, figure it the fuck out. So, we have such a fuck system, and I don't fault people for for playing in that system, but I do fault them a lot for the I guess the what's the word I'm looking for? The entitled nature of landlords. Absolutely, the entitled fucking nature of these people. Anyway, purchase 99. The artist figured the triplex would provide steady income as well as help fund their retirement. Yeah, and it's a triplex, so probably two of those people's payments for rent is maybe even only one of them is actually covering the the mortgage for the building, and then the other two people's payments are all just play money. It's just all extra money that this person gets for nothing. Keep in mind, for nothing, for just owning it. So this was my entire plan, and I've just kind of watched it go up in smoke. We've never had a situation where you would have government sanctioned freedom to not pay your rent. And keep in mind, she's only mad that it's not going to her. If the government was like, fine, we'll pay you, she'd be like, oh, okay, I'm cool with this. Haley doesn't know why the family who rented the house her parents left her stopped paying rent in April 2020. The property management company said they couldn't ask because of the eviction ban. Reached by the Associated Press, the tenant, Martha Pinzon, said at the advice of a community nonprofit she stopped paying after she lost her hotel housekeeper job during the pandemic, triggered shutdown in March 2020. Even now, she can't afford the $1,875 monthly rent on her pay as a custodian at a homeless shelter. You are going to put out on the streets a custodian at a homeless shelter, somebody who's cleaning, Christ above. And even if she doesn't go on the streets, what? She has to pay $1,875? That's insane. You want your tenants to pay? Drop your rent prices then. How about this? Drop your rent prices, get a fucking job. That's the thing, right? That's what they don't want to do. They're like, I don't want to drop my rent and then make it up by working. I don't want to work. And it's like, these people work. What the fuck are you talking about? The worst thing a landlord can be is a normal person who has to go to work and pay their bills. Pinzon's 19-year-old daughter, Bridget Cortez, said the moratorium gave her mother peace of mind during the pandemic. She said the property management company has for years ignored their requests for repairs. We've had a lot of troubles in this house since we've moved in, she said, adding that they are looking for a new place to live. Haley says the tenants never asked for repairs. Yeah, I'm sure she said they never did. John Williams, 62, hopes that 3 years. What is this? John Williams, middle, reacts to speakers at a rally calling for an end to the eviction moratorium. Makes sense. John Williams, 62, hopes that 3 years of worry and stress are coming to an end. Williams, who was part of a lawsuit against Oakland and Alameda County over the bans, said his tenant stopped paying the $1,500 monthly rent when the pandemic started. She offered no explanation while operating a storage business out of the apartment and would not cooperate so he could get money from the city's rent relief program, he said. As a black man, Williams had experienced rental discrimination, and he thought his Victorian duplex in West Oakland would be a way for him to retire and house others. He started renting to the mom with 2 kids in 2013. In late 2020, he tried to sell the house, but she refused to move and the sale fell through. Okay, yeah. And I've had to move because of that. Like when I was living with my mom growing up, we had to move out of one of our houses because it just got sold out from under us. Like the landlord was like, "Oh yeah, you guys have to be out in like X amount of time because I just sold this. So all of the rent that you've been paying me, yeah, that's really nice. Now I'm going to cash in all of this. And you have to find somewhere to live." Like these people are fucking parasites. Like, no, like fuck that. And also, I love a lot of this. Like the AP, whoever wrote this, wanted to really emphasize that this is like black people. So somehow like, oh, well, they're not the same kind of landlords. No, God damn it. This is class right here. This has nothing to do with race. This has everything to do with class. Late 2020, he tried to sell the house, but she refused to move, and the sale fell through. In late 2021, Williams was so stressed he was hospitalized, placed on disability, and could not work. He was forced to move into the unit above his tenant. It no longer felt like his house. The tenant did not return messages from the AP left at a phone number or for a business she operates. Williams supports the purposes of the eviction ban, but wishes the city had considered landlords like him. He was about to lose his home on May 1st, but was saved by a state mortgage relief program that started accepting applications this year from landlords who reside in their duplexes and triplexes. He plans to leave the city. I don't want to be a home provider in Oakland, he said. This has been really hard. This has been a really hard time. Well, maybe we just shouldn't have landlords. That's just me. The solution to this for me is let's just not have landlords. That seems good to me. How about we just stop the privatization of like housing? I feel like that's a much quicker, much easier way to go about this. But oh god, it's just fucking infuriating. Like, I don't know how many people, if you're younger, you probably don't like get this yet, and you will when you start renting. When you start renting these buildings that are, let's be honest, not that well kept, but because of the housing market, you're paying premium prices. And you'll notice that, you go and live with maybe some of your friends, or, maybe you live with somebody who bought a house or whatever. You'll notice that, what the mortgage is a bit unknown to you. And what you pay is what's known to you. And you'll suddenly notice that these landlords who, live off of a lot of this, suddenly, when things are fine, when you're paying your rent, they're living life. They're living it up. They're going out. They're having a grand old time. They got all this time to go on vacations, do stuff, all this time to, buy other properties, do all the rest of the shit. Until suddenly you're a little bit late on your rent, and suddenly their world fucking crumbles every time. They're never struggling unless you're not struggling to pay them. That's always been my experience with a lot of landlords. But all right, speaking of the wealthy also, and of class, you've heard of the Supreme Court, I presume. One of the prime, isn't it Isn't it actually Alito's court? Isn't he like head of all of this? Doesn't matter. Supreme Court Justice Sam Alito, like Clarence Thomas, has his own little billionaire, his own little billionaire pal that he doesn't think he needs to tell anybody about. It's not look, man, we're just buddies, we're just pals, we just go fishing every once in a while. Sometimes he comes to me with he comes to me in the court and asks me, can you rule in my favor, can you not? He just, it's not a big deal. I'm Sam Alito. Come on. I'm totally trustworthy. I'm not biased, and certainly I'm not a little bit corrupt. You can't be saying that, could you, Josh? But I don't really have to say it, because luckily ProPublica, with another banger of an article, has implicated Sam Alito in his ties to a billionaire, much like Clarence Thomas. So, Justice Samuel Alito took luxury fishing vacations with GOP billionaire who later had cases before the court. And the big part of this that they left out of the headline is, and didn't feel the need to report it. So, let's go take a look, shall we? In the years after the undisclosed trip to Alaska, Republican megadonor Paul Singer's hedge fund has repeatedly had business before the Supreme Court. Alito has never recused himself. And at the end of the day, what possible system could we have confidence in if this is allowed to stand? I'll say it now. Thomas, Alito, both of them ejected. They should be ejected by the court, from the court. In early July 2008, Samuel Alito stood on a riverbank in a remote corner of Alaska. Supreme Court Justice, he was on vacation at a luxury fishing lodge that charged more than $1,000 a day. And after catching a king salmon nearly the size of his leg, Alito posed for a picture. To his left, a man stood beaming. Paul Singer, a hedge fund billionaire who has repeatedly asked the Supreme Court to rule in his favor in high-stakes business disputes. Goddamn, is that the face of a fat, wealthy billionaire? Fucking like the picture of anti-capitalist propaganda. Look at this fucker. Jesus. This fucking unit. Singer was more than a fellow angler. He flew Alito to Alaska on a private jet. If the justice chartered the plane himself, the cost would have exceeded $100,000 one way. And he had to come back, so that's quite a bit. In the years that followed, Singer's hedge fund came before the court at least 10 times in cases where his role was often covered by the legal press and mainstream media. In 2014, the court agreed to resolve a key issue in a decade-long battle between Singer's hedge fund and the nation of Argentina. Alito did not recuse himself from the case and voted with the 7-1 majority in Singer's favor. The hedge fund was ultimately paid $2.4 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Alito did not report the 2008 fishing trip on his annual financial disclosures. By failing to disclose the private jet flight Singer provided, Alito appears to have violated a federal law that requires justices to disclose most gifts, according to ethics law experts. Experts said they could not identify any instance of a justice ruling on a case after receiving an expensive gift paid by one of the parties. Quote, if you were good friends, what were you doing ruling on the case? And if you weren't good friends, what were you doing accepting this? Referring to the flight on the private jet. Justices are almost entirely left to police themselves. And come on. I mean, come on. I think we all understand that this is what happens when you have a branch of our government. You have the judicial branch that's just untouchable. Absolutely untouchable. It's ridiculous. Almost entirely left to police themselves on ethical issues with few restrictions on what gifts they can accept. when a potential conflict arises, the sole arbiter of whether the justice should step away from a case is the justice him or herself. ProPublica's investigations sheds new light on how luxury travel has given prominent political donors, including one who has had cases both before the Supreme Court, intimate access to the most powerful judges in the country. Another wealthy businessman provided expensive vacations to 2 members of the High Court, ProPublica found. On his Alaska trip, Alito stayed at a commercial fishing lodge owned by this businessman, who was also a major conservative donor. 3 years before, the same businessman flew Justice Antonin Scalia, may he rest in peace, who died in 2016, on a private jet to Alaska and paid the bill for his stay. Such trips would be unheard of for the vast majority of federal workers, who are generally barred from taking even modest gifts. Leonard Leo, the longtime leader of the Conservative Federalist Society, dude, we need to do like a deep dive. Okay. So I'm thinking one of these days we're going to do like a whole episode on the Federalist Society, and I want to do a whole episode on like the Red Summer, like just the entire, maybe not 3 hours, but like definitely the entire 2 blocks, the first 2 blocks at least. Anyway, attended to help organize the Alaska fishing trip. Leo invited Singer to join, according to a person familiar with the trip, and asked Singer if he and Alito could fly on a billionaire's jet. Leo had recently played an important role in the justice's confirmation to the court. Singer and the lodge owner were both major donors to Leo's political groups. Christ above, man. ProPublica's examinations of Alito and Scalia's travel drew on trip planning emails, Alaska fishing licenses, and interviews with dozens of people, including private jet pilots, fishing guides, former high-level employees of both Singer and the lodge owner, and other guests on the trip. ProPublica sent Alito a list of detailed questions last week, and on Tuesday, the Supreme Court head spokeswoman told ProPublica that Alito would not be commenting. Several hours later, the Wall Street Journal published an op-ed by Alito responding to ProPublica's questions about the trip. Alito said that when Singer's companies came before the court, the justice was unaware of the billionaire's connections to the case. Oh, yeah, I didn't know this. We just went fishing together. Come on, guys. I just went fishing with the man. And he paid for like my 1,000-day like stay at the lodge and travel and a lot of other stuff. But come on. How would I know that this billionaire is the owner of a billion-dollar corporation that was before my court? How would I know that? How could I have ever known that? He never mentioned. He never brought it up. Totally. Alito said that he was invited to fly on the plane shortly before the trip and that the seat, quote, would have otherwise been vacant. He defended his failure to report the trip to the public, writing that justices, quote, commonly interpret the disclosure requirements to not include, quote, accommodations and transportation for social events. Oh, well, that's convenient now, isn't it? In a statement, a spokesperson for Singer told ProPublica that Singer didn't organize the trip and that he wasn't aware Alito would be attending when he accepted the invitation. Singer, quote, never discussed his business interests with the justice, the spokesperson said, adding that at the time, neither Singer nor his companies had, quote, any pending matters before the Supreme Court, nor could Mr. Singer have anticipated in 2008 that a subsequent matter would arise that would merit the Supreme Court's review. Totally. Look, we would have never guessed this. We had no inkling that it would ever be useful to be close friends with a Supreme Court justice that maybe one day we might be standing in front of. Leo did not respond to the questions about the about his organizing the trip, but said in a statement that, quote, would never presume to tell Alito and Scalia what to do. Like, guys, come the fuck on. This spring, ProPublica reported that Justice Clarence Thomas received decades of luxury travel from another Republican megadonor, Dallas real estate magnate Harlan Crow. In a statement, Thomas defended the undisclosed trip, saying unnamed colleagues advised him that he didn't need to report such gifts to the public. Oh, well, okay, if your homies told you not to. Crow also gave Thomas money in an undisclosed real estate deal and paid private school tuition of his grandnephew, who Thomas was raising as a son. Thomas reported neither transaction on his disclosure forms. Jesus. Put somebody through college, and didn't this dude also like buy like some property of one of the other ones? Or is this the exact same deal? It might be the same deal. The undisclosed gifts have prompted lawmakers to launch investigations and call for ethics reform. Recent bills would impose tighter rules on for justices' recusals, require the Supreme Court to adopt a binding code of conduct, and create an ethics body which would investigate complaints. Neither a code nor an ethics office currently exists. Jesus. We wouldn't tolerate this from a city council member or an alderman. Dick Durbin said, an Illinois Democrat and chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, said of Thomas in a recent hearing, and yet the Supreme Court won't even acknowledge it's a problem. So far, the court has chafed at the prospect of such reforms, though the court recently laid out its ethics practices in a statement signed by all 9 justices. Chief Justice John Roberts has not directly addressed the recent revelations. In fact, he has repeatedly suggested Congress might not have the power to regulate the court at all. Well, isn't that fun when you get to make up the rules as you go and interpret anything however you feel, and there's no real way to challenge that? Well, let's make it so you're not allowed to regulate us. We take good care of him because he makes all the rules. In the 1960s, in his first year of Harvard School, Singer was listening to a lecture by famed liberal professor when he later recalled he had an epiphany. Quote, "My goodness, they're making it up as they go along." It was a common sentiment among conservative lawyers who often accuse liberal judges of activist overreach. While Singer's career as an attorney was short-lived, his convictions about the law stayed with him for decades. After starting a hedge fund that eventually made him one of the richest people in the country, he began directing huge sums to causes on the right. That included groups like the Federalist Society, dedicated to fostering the conservative legal movement and putting its followers on the bench. Yeah, like I said, we need to do a deep dive into the Federalist Society. In the last decade, Singer has contributed over $80 million to Republican political groups. He has also given millions to the Manhattan Institute, a conservative think tank, where he has served as chairman since 2008. The institute regularly files friend of the court briefs with the Supreme Court, at least 15 this term, including one asking the court to block student loan relief. The fact that we have friend of the court briefs, Jesus fucking Christ. Also, keep in mind, like, he came to the epiphany of, like, everything's getting made up as it goes. Like, yeah, that is kind of how law works, especially the interpretation of the law. Like, when they say, like, oh, it's a liberal thing. No, it's not. This is how interpretation works. You interpret it however you kind of feel to interpret. You know, you can make arguments for your interpretation, but it's all bullshit. It's all just whatever, frame of reference. And the argument for the Supreme Court has always been, and I've made this every time, Biden should expand it and make it ideologically difficult for conservatives to get what they want, not because I think the law is more liberal, but because if we have the option of setting the boundaries of what is acceptable, then it might as well be liberal then. Like, it's going to be one or the other, and I don't think the court is ever impartial. That's not a thing I believe in. I don't believe in the court's impartiality. So, no, this is a power thing when it comes down to it. This is raw politics. In the last decade, Singer has contributed, right, we read that. Singer's interest in the courts is more than ideological. His hedge fund, Elliott Management, is best known for making investments that promise handsome returns, but could require bruising legal battles. Singer has said he's drawn to positions where you, quote, control your own destiny, not just riding up and down with the wave of financial markets. That basically means breaking the law. That can mean pressuring corporate boards to fire a CEO, brawling with creditors over the remains of a bankruptcy company, and suing opponents. The fund now manages more than $50 billion. Okay, I'll just say it also. Hedge funds, abolish. Do it. I have no problem with it. Let's see. The fund now manages more than $50 billion in assets. The investments are extremely shrewdly litigious. Oh, no, shrewdly litigation driven. Sorry. A person familiar with Singer's fund told ProPublica that's why he's a billionaire. Singer's most famous gamble eventually made its way to the Supreme Court. In 2001, Argentina was in a devastating economic depression. Unemployment skyrocketed and deadly riots broke out in the street. The day after Christmas, the government finally went into default. For Singer, the crisis was an opportunity as other investors fled. His fund purchased Argentine government debt at a steep discount. Within several years, as the Argentine economy recovered, most creditors settled with the government and accepted a fraction of what the debt was originally worth. But Singer's fund, an arm of Elliott called NML Capital, held out. Soon they were at war, a midtown Manhattan-based hedge fund trying to impose its will on a sovereign nation thousands of miles away. The fight played out on familiar turf for Singer, the U.S. courts. He launched an aggressive legal campaign to force Argentina to pay in full, and his personal involvement in the case attracted widespread media attention. Over 13 years of litigation and arguments spanned the rights foreign governments have in the U.S. and whether Argentina could pay off debts to others before Singer settled his claim. If Singer succeeded, he stood to make a fortune. In 2007, for the first but not the last time, Singer's fund asked the Supreme Court to intervene. A lower court had stopped Singer and another fund from seizing Argentine central bank funds held in the U.S. The investors appealed, but that October, the Supreme Court declined to take up the case. On July 8th the following year, Singer took Alito to Alaska on the private jet. According to emails, flight data from the Federal Aviation Administration, and people familiar with the trip, the group flew across the country to the town of King Salmon on the Alaska Peninsula, then returned to the East Coast 3 days later. In Alaska, they stayed at the King Salmon Lodge, a luxury fishing resort that drew celebrities, wealthy businessmen, and sports stars. On July 9th, one of the lodge's pilots flew Alito and other guests around 70 miles to the west to fish the Nushagak River? Nushagak? I don't know. Known for one of the best salmon runs in the world. Snapshots from the trip show Alito in waders and Indianapolis Grand Prix hat, smiling broadly as he holds his catch. Fucking piece of shit, man. Sam Alito is in the red jacket there, one lodge worker said, as he narrated the amateur video, The Justice in the Water. We take good care of him because he makes all the rules. Yep. Other guests of the trip included Leo, the Federalist Society leader, and a judge and Judge A. Raymond Randolph, a prominent conservative appellate judge for whom Leo had clerked, according to fishing licenses and interviews with lodge staff. On another day, the group flew on one of the lodge's bush planes to a waterfall in Katmai National Park, where bears snatch salmon from the water with their teeth. At night, the lodge's chefs serve multi-course meals of Alaskan king crab legs or Kobe fillet. On the last evening, the member of Alito's group bragged that the wine they were drinking cost $1,000 a bottle. One of the lodge's fishing guides told ProPublica. In his op-ed, Alito described the lodge as a comfortable but rustic facility. Yeah, my ass. The justice said he does not remember if he was served wine, but it said it didn't cost $1,000 a bottle. Alito also pointed readers to the lodge's website. The lodge has been sold since 2008 and now new downscale accommodation. The justice's stay was provided free of charge by another major donor of the conservative legal movement, Robin Arkley II, the owner of the mortgage. Fuck Christ, dude. Okay, let's be clear. These are the people who run this fucking country. Like, when conservatives do the whole, like, wealthy elite meme or whatever, they're saying Jews, right? Like, that's what they mean. They mean, like, Jews and, I don't know, woke people, I guess. But, like, this is who's actually doing it. These kinds of luxury trips for justices, this is insane. Free of charge, owner of a mortgage company, Arkley had recently acquired the fishing lodge, which catered to affluent tourists seeking a luxury experience in the Alaskan wilderness. A planning document prepared by lodge staff describes Alito as a guest of Arkley. Another guest on the trip told ProPublica the trip was a gift from Arkley, and the two lodge employees said they were told that Alito wasn't paying. Arkley, who does not appear to have been involved in any cases before the court, did not respond to detailed questions about... Oh, for the story, sorry. Look at those lovely bears. Alito did not disclose the flight or the stay at the fishing lodge in his annual financial disclosures, A federal law passed after Watergate requires federal officials, including Supreme Court justices, to publicly report most gifts. The year before, Alito reported getting $500 of Italian food and wine from a friend, noting that his friend was unlikely to appear before the court. Wonder why you wonder why you were okay with reporting it. The law has a personal hospitality exemption. If someone hosts a justice on their own property, free food, lodging, and entertainment doesn't always have to be disclosed. But the law clearly requires disclosure for gifts of private jet flights. According to 7 ethics law experts, and Alito appears to have violated it. The typical interpretation of the law required disclosure for his stay at the lodge too, experts said, since it was a commercial property rather than a vacation home. The judiciary's regulations did not make that explicit until they were updated earlier this year. Christ. Let's see. His op-ed pointed to language in the judiciary's filing. The exception only covers food, lodging, and entertainment. He's trying to move away from the plain language of the statute and the regulation. Well, duh. These guys, like, it's so funny because it's very obvious that all they do is whenever they want to do their like conservative meme law bullshit, they'll say plain reading, and then when they get caught with their hands in the cookie jar, then suddenly it's, then they want to interpret it their own fun, creative way every time. Year after that, in 2010, Alito delivered the keynote speech at the dinner for the donors of Manhattan Institute. Once again, Singer delivered a flattering introduction. He and his small band of like-minded justices are a critical and much appreciated bulwark for our freedom. And by our, he doesn't mean American people. He means literally his investors. Court cases and known interactions. Oh, geez. May of 2007, Singer's fund asked the court to intervene in the Argentine litigation. It declined later that year. 2008, Singer flies Alito on a private jet to Alaska. Well, look at that. When was that? In July of 2008. The next time they see each other is November of 2009. Singer introduces Alito at the Federalist Society dinner. And then Singer's Argentine dispute spurs 8 more Supreme Court appeals, 7 of which are turned down. Singer introduces Alito at Manhattan Institute again. And look at this. Court agrees to take on the Argentina case. Utility company asks the court to intervene. The bank asks the court to intervene. And Singer's battle on Argentina intensified as the hedge fund launched expansive public relations and lobbying campaign in 2012. The hedge fund, keep in mind, this is some fucking hedge fund, running the table on another sovereign nation made up of millions of people. Alito articulated his own standard during his Senate confirmation process, writing that he believed in stepping away from the case when, quote, any possible question might arise. In his Wall Street Journal op-ed, Alito wrote of his failure to recuse himself from Singer's case to the court. It was and is my judgment that these facts would not cause a reasonable and unbiased person to doubt any ability. Yep. It is because I say it is. It's okay because I say it's okay. Jesus. Thank God for ProPublica, man. Thank God. So if you ever needed a reminder that the court is bullshit, and should not be respected as some impartial however we're treating it these days, let this be a reminder to you. These people get money the same way our normal politicians get money. It's just done in a slightly different way. Jesus. In June of 2005, Arkley flew Scalia on a private jet to Kodiak Island, Alaska. 2 of Arkley's former pilots told ProPublica Arkley had paid to rent out a remote fishing lodge that cost $3,200 a week per person, according to the largest owner, Martha Sykes. Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyway. Oh my God. The corruption of our government, man. Swear to God. It's like more than anything, I think the thing that like gets me the most, what is going on? Okay. I think the thing that gets me the most is how like brazen these guys are. Like they don't give half a shit about, you know, even appearing, you know, like they're corrupt. Like they're just so confident that there's no consequences. It's fucking, that's the most disrespectful part. But all right, what should we do? Let's shift into the legally distinct fun half, and yeah, and then we'll watch some videos, and then probably we should have time to finish up Choo Choo Charles, I think, tonight. Should be. You know, maybe if we finish that quickly, then we'll start a new game. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, let's do that, shall we?
So do not shop at Target, or else you're gay.
Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes.
Just to simplify this, I think we're just going to use your...
I may keep the pantyhose on. This feels kind of good, actually.
Larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day.
Beat it up, N-word.
What is more important? You are culture than the Joker.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
I like black guys a lot.
The alpha males are back.
All right, we're back. So okay, we've done a couple videos responding to this person, mainly because you know, why do I always I think, well, first of all, these always pop up on my timeline for this account just because I've watched other videos of theirs, but like there's just so much to chew on. There's so much like stupidity and like a misunderstanding of basically every like political like perspective. Just like if you wanted somebody who has no idea about politics, oh my goodness, to talk about politics and talk about like ideology, you would watch this person. So let's get into it. I want to know why, or better yet, how Pride Month became the most hated month, which, you know, I don't know if this is like a I don't know if this is like a joke, but like Pride Month being very controversial is not something new. Like, at least through my entire life, the idea of having a month for Pride has kind of always been a bit controversial. This isn't a new phenomenon. This isn't even a new topic. But now, you know, with the Gays Against Groomers, you know, campaign going on, I suppose there's a new angle for you know, conservatives to kind of attack, you know, the attack Pride as like a month and as a celebration. And it's just, you know, some people are willing to divide and, be pick-me's, be, you know, gay conservatives because they like tax cuts and they're okay with, you know, selling out some of their own. It's, you know, you do what you got to do to make the, you know, to get the bag. But either way, let's find out. Let's hear a good one.
It's safe to say that Pride Month is one of the most hated months of the year.
Always
Why?
has been.
What's supposed to be the most joyful and loving months of the year has now turned into the most divisive and
Wait. Joyful and loving. This isn't February.
toxic. There's children.
Oh yeah. Also. Okay. Let's take a look here. I wanna see if I can.
Joyful and loving.
No. I want to see an example of why like. All right.
What's supposed to be the most
God
joyful.
Damn it goes by so
It's
quick.
safe to say.
Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll do fine. You want to like flash stuff up? We'll do it at like 0.25 speed.
That Pride Month is one of
Okay, we're also gonna mute this because I don't want to hear that. All right, I want to see what like literally 0.5 second clips. All right, so let's see. Central Pennsylvania Pride had a poll. Oh, I saw one of these. Yeah, set up with an amazing instructor to assist. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know, okay. So, okay. Yeah. Cause I saw one of these. We went to Denver Pride was this past weekend and, we saw one of these. It's actually really funny. Nobody in the crowd took this as sexual. The only people who see this as sexual are weird conservatives. Like, is this, they're not even doing a move with it. They're just on it. Yes, a person with a. I saw those with the dog. It kind of looked like Batman mask to me, honestly. I walked by, like somebody walked by me, and I was like, it looks like you have a Batman mask. Like it looks like a Batman cowl. But you know, okay, a child wearing clothes. Okay, cool, amazing. A person wearing what looks like a bikini. Which again, have you? You know, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but like. Have conservatives been to the beach before? Is this like not a thing that they're used to seeing? Okay, so I kind of had a feeling that none of those were going to be all that controversial. Figures.
Year has now turned into the most divisive and toxic.
Also, I love the video format that like idiot conservatives have to have, where like because okay, it's not even that. What this is content to attract like Zoomers and kind of younger audiences, because it's why you have the text for like every single word, because everyone's so ADHD riddled these days that it's like you need to catch every single word that I'm saying, and it's like calm down, Jesus.
In attendance at these festivals that feature lots of nudity and sexual.
Was that person nude, or were they just wearing a bikini? Because it looked like they were just wearing a bikini, which I don't know. Not again.
Acts. Numerous corporations use it as a cash grab to pander to the LGBTQ community. And there's a growing segment of the population
Welcome to
that's
capitalism.
fed up. And don't get me wrong, as much as I want these corporations to shut up about Pride Month, I need to shut up when I'm sleeping, specifically when I'm snoring. If you're wanting to stop
oh my God, are we doing an ad already? We're already doing an ad.
And actually get some quality sleep, then my friends in
no
red
way.
hostage shape have
oh my God, we're actually doing an ad already. Oh my God. Wow, this is shameless.
This is a celebration of sex and love.
All right, let's go.
What is Pride?
This is a celebration of sex and love and who we are as fully formed beings, sex included.
And to be honest, that's fine with me.
Cool.
Pride has always been about being prideful in various aspects of your life. With the
he does know that I don't. It's not really like a sex like the act. It's like sexual attraction, maybe, or like what's the word? Like yeah, it's not like. Nobody's there and is like banging the entire time.
Focus on sexuality.
Speaking from direct experience, it didn't really seem to bother anyone.
Yes, Ariel Scarcella, totally not biased person.
Extremely commercialized, and
now I'm really skeptical about who those first
to be
two
more
people were.
family friendly.
The second Pride was hijacked by corporations. It completely changed the way it was represented and highlighted in various.
The second Pride? I find that to be dubious.
Cities across the country.
A lot of corporations are capitalizing off Pride and off LGBTQIA plus like merch.
Okay. Let's be. Is this? No, it's not. Let's be clear. This is an argument that we never have to discuss because conservatives are pro-capitalism. Like we never have to talk about. We are never going to address this. This is the only time I'll address it, and it's simply and this is the only response. It's called capitalism, dumbass. You're in favor of it, so why are you complaining about it?
I don't know. They're just making a lot of money.
Like I'm a leftist. I don't like this stuff, but like these people
about
do.
Capitalism and how it's bad. Yet they go into Target and just will buy all of their Pride stuff. Capitalism at its finest, but you know.
Truly.
Yeah, you're right, guys. Don't you know? Don't all of you leftists know? Capitalism was when you buy things. It's only the only system we have under socialism is trading livestock for goods and services. That's the only thing we have. Nowhere in socialism do we have currency exchanged for goods and services. That's not a thing. That's not a thing at all. What a fucking idiot. Jesus.
Pride has shifted away from the people and put its focus solely on the corporations, and they've made an insane profit throughout the years until recently when we started involving the children. And it's just crazy to me, like knowing what goes down in organization. In what world did you think it'd be okay to commercialize this?
It's a public event that gets sponsored by corporations who want to market. That's all it is. It's not like, oh, Pride started taking money. Pride isn't an organization. There is no like governing Pride body that does this stuff. These are all like sponsored events in your local cities. Like,
scene today is it fills me up for the rest of the week.
We have this huge event that became mainstream. Media is talking about it everywhere. Everybody's involved.
Cool.
Even children. And that is when everything...
Is she talking about the MCU or is she talking about Pride? I can't tell.
...started crumbling down. It makes... Are you guys surprised? Is anybody surprised?
Family-friendly Pride events. This is how Pride Month has become the most hated month.
Okay. So maybe, let's take this guy in the blue here. What's the problem? Like, genuinely, I have to ask. They're wearing shoes. They're wearing socks. They're wearing I still say these look like, I know they're dogs, but to me, it kind of looks like a Batman cow. But like, looks like they're wearing a Batman mask. They're wearing obviously they don't have their dick out. So like, they're probably wearing like, again, a bikini bottom, but okay. Okay. If we're not seeing like nudity, like outright dick out nudity, then what's the crazy thing that kids can't see? Is it the chain stuff? To which I would have to ask, like, they're chains? Like, you're kind of just being prudish right now? Like, really? This is the big evidence? People wearing clothes that you dislike? Okay.
Children are being exposed to this very mature and sexualized behavior.
Are we only going to show the same clips?
Funded by these corporations.
Oh my God, a person dancing in skimpy clothing. I've never seen that before.
Pushing it to become more.
Also, yeah, look at this kid. This kid is fucking struggling. Take this kid to fucking gym class. Like, yeah, it's so weird. It's so
family
weird.
Friendly when that's not the case.
Also, keep in mind also, they show the pole dancing thing because they want to make you think that like they're turning your kids into into strippers or something. But like, talk to anybody who does pole dancing as like a hobby. It's not inherently sexual. A lot of it is just the same way dance can be very sexual. A lot of people who do pole dancing are doing it for like the artistic kind of like dance value of it. There's a lot of like artistry that goes into like doing like the, you fucking put your leg up in here and then you're all like fucking in a weird ass position upside down and shit. Like, there's a lot of artistry and there's also a lot of like physical fitness that goes into that. So like the idea that like, oh, it's all about like the sex aspect of it. Not really, and not necessarily. Like, there are people who pole dance because they like pole dancing, and there are strippers who pole dance, but it's not like a only strippers pole dance. Some people just like to do that. Like, there is a community you can find online. That's just their interest. That's their hobby. That's like, it's a thing they enjoy doing. Like, it's not really sexual to them. And if it is sexual to you, if you see that kid and you don't see a kid basically trying to climb a pole and then sliding down it poorly because they're a dumbass kid, and you saw that as sexual, that tells me a lot about where your head is at, and gives me a bit of pause with you. Just a bit.
It's entirely too much. There's no reason why any child should be celebrating Pride. Really, all of us, because it's 2023. There's not much that a grown gay man cannot do in this country. Like, Pride parades made a lot of sense back in the day when we were.
I mean, black people haven't been slaves, well, technically, for over 100 years, over 200 years, maybe. I don't, because when I was 18, no, that was 18. So, well, no, technically. Point is, we still celebrate Black History Month. Well, what gets me also is it's like, why do we have to celebrate Pride? Why not? Like, honestly, why not? If people are willing to celebrate a holiday or whatever, why not? Why do we celebrate Christmas every year? Because we want to. Why do people celebrate Pride every year? because they want to. Like that is literally as far as we need as humans in a society. That I think we need to celebrate something. Honest to God. Why do we celebrate Thanksgiving? Why do we celebrate Halloween? Why do we celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Why do we do any of this stuff? Because we want to. It's not that difficult. It's also not that controversial. We do it because we'll take any excuse to try and have some fun. People like going to these festival style events, whether it be your pride parades, whether it be your Thanksgiving Day parades, whether it be your St. Patrick's Day parades, whether it be the here in Denver, we have like a 420 festival that takes up the same amount of space, but it's like a whole thing around 420 on 420 for the reasons you should know. But like why do we have to do it? Because people want to, that's why. And because some people, some corporations would like to make money, and they're okay with hosting some of this, fronting some of the money so that people can spend money at their shops. That's pretty much it. It's just an excuse for people to have fun, go spend some money on some local artists a lot of the times too. There's also a huge aspect of pride that, like, you know, if you set aside your Targets, your Xfinities, your all the rest of the like big business booths, there's a lot of like small online artists. There's a lot of local artists that go out to Pride and sell their wares, whether it be like you know, art prints, whether it be food, whether it be I'm trying to think of some of the other, you know, pins, whether it be clothes, whatever it might be. It's an opportunity for people to be in a community setting and sell their wares and stuff. There's a lot of perfectly normal good reasons to have Pride. There's also not really an argument why we shouldn't do Pride but should do Christmas. They're both fun for people. That's the only excuse anybody ever needs.
Sean, when we couldn't get married, when we couldn't get jobs, when we were very isolated.
He does realize that
it makes sense to rally together to have a pride parade, be prideful in who we are. But now it doesn't make sense, and
there is a push in the Republican Party
until we brought kids
to turn back on the whole gay marriage
just hit
thing.
the damn fan. Why are people boycotting Target? Because they're selling children's attire with pride stuff all over it.
What? Nope, we already looked at this. That's a lie. They're selling attire for extra small people, which the right is trying to argue that that's for kids, even though there are such things as extra small humans and adults. It is a thing. They're not selling anything. The most controversial thing that they're selling at Target that the right seized upon was something that was for trans people. That was like a tuck-friendly something. I don't fucking know. But yeah, it was adults clothes. But Matt Walsh and a lot of other right-wingers, this idiot included, just say that it's for kids. They have no evidence. They have no real argument. They just say it is. And because a lot of their audience isn't really interested in hearing, you know, an explanation for why it is, they just go, oh, it is? Okay, cool. It's for kids now. It's not, but, you know, unfortunately.
Are people boycotting Bud Light because they promoted a trans person who is pushing children to transition?
Why are people
Wait. How are they pushing anybody to transition? See, this is the thing. This is also the thing. This is where their idiotic responses really give you a good light. They believe that Dylan Mulvaney is pushing people to transition, kids specifically. Is that true? No. Have you ever heard of somebody transitioning specifically because they saw Dylan Mulvaney do it? No. What you will hear, maybe in a couple of years, maybe in like, 5-10 years, is I'm assuming their audience is maybe on the younger side. I don't know. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't really care all that much. But like, assuming that they have a young audience member watching them, what that audience member is going to see is somebody living their lives happily as a trans woman. And they will say, if that is something that I would like to live, if that is a truth that resonates with me, then I've seen an example of somebody living that truth. It's like literally anything else. You see somebody being into a thing that you're into, and suddenly you feel confident in expressing that aspect of your identity. For an example, this maybe for me is like, I don't know. Trying to think of like a good one. I mean, like, even if I would say like wrestling, like as a professional wrestling fan, there aren't that many, like, the pro wrestling fandom is very, very atomized online and not you know, you'll find people who will recognize a Stone Cold Steve Austin or a Rock shirt. But every once in a while, if I wear like a more modern shirt and somebody goes, hey, it's a Kenny Omega shirt. Hey, great. That was a great match, like whatever week or whatever. Then that gives me space in my mind mentally to go, okay, this is like socially acceptable for me to wear this. And like people, there are people out there who will get it, who will be appreciative of it and stuff like that. And it's the same with this stuff. Dylan Mulvaney isn't pushing anybody. What Dylan Mulvaney is making is space for people to be their whole selves. And that space is intimidating for people. That's what it actually is. That's the actual problem that people have, is because they see Dylan Mulvaney living their life in a happy fashion as a trans woman, and they're worried that there are going to be other people who are trans who will then feel comfortable accepting that about themselves and moving forward with that identity. They're terrified of that. So they have to attack Dylan Mulvaney. They have to make Dylan Mulvaney as closeted as possible so that their kids, that other people they know, don't ever challenge their ideas of sex and gender.
Boycotting drag queens because drag queens are pushing to perform and read to children.
Oh my God, to read. Okay, let's look at the...
Because drag queens...
All right, drag queen. I guess we got to do the thing. Wearing a shirt, wearing pants. Literally nothing that this person is wearing I haven't seen at a wrestling show that I wouldn't take my kids to. Like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. A big wig? Whoa, crazy.
They're pushing to perform.
Like, what about this outfit is controversial? It's shorts and some high top, some what are these, high heel boots or something, and a shirt. That's it. It's got some cleavage, but oh, God forbid, kids can't see cleavage. I've never seen that before.
Perform and read to children.
Also, another one. This person's fully dressed, honestly wearing more clothing than I probably do. This person looks like they have a jacket and an undershirt. I never have more than a t-shirt on.
Why are people boycotting gender affirming care? Because
people are boycotting gender affirming care. They understand gender affirming care is not gender affirming care isn't like a brand, you fucking troglodytes. Gender affirming care is a wide range of care options for trans people, old and young. So I don't know what they mean by why are people, they said banning, right? I'm not crazy. I didn't, yeah.
people boycotting
Yeah, what are they talking about boycotting? The states are boycotting it in the sense of they're not allowing parents and children to seek medical care that they voluntarily are looking for with the help and guidance of their doctors. But I wouldn't call that boycotting. That's just called fascism, really. It's not really called anything other than fascism.
Gender affirming care because they're trying to allow
also, what do you think this video is of? Like, if I go search this, I wonder. Let's see. Let's see. Nope. Shot. If I go to videos, let's see. Okay, I have no idea. Vaccine, maybe? Yeah, I don't know where they got this random ass video from. I'm kind of curious though. This makes me like, they have to, let's be clear. They have to show like, oh, this poor child being like, they come on. You could have picked any video and you picked this.
To chemically and sexually castrate themselves while also allowing young women.
Also, yeah, kids when they're not receiving what's it called? God damn it, now I'm forgetting the term. Puberty blockers. Yeah, every child, no child has ever winced unless it was puberty blockers. Also, do you get that as a shot? Isn't it a pill? I could be, yeah, like so like pill? or shot, I guess. I guess you could. Blockers are sometimes referred as testosterone blockers, and they all seem the most common blocker. Okay. I just want to know if they're a shot or if they're a hormone blockers. Oh, maybe it is a shot. I don't know. Okay, so no, wait, but it is the thing. Wait, huh? Blockers. Okay, so it kind of depends. Okay, so I'm assuming it kind of depends. You can get it in both. There's like differences between potency, I suppose. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, I was just curious. I was just randomly curious.
Women or young girls to get double mastectomies.
It all comes down to the children. And
you know, I actually met somebody who got recently who had top surgery, and you know what? It was like a thing I noted in the first like 2 seconds of meeting them, and I moved on with my day. I know it might seem weird to you that you're like, you didn't linger and like stare at their like scars. Like, no, I'm a normal person. That's kind of rude and weird. And the fact that there are people who do that, you're a bit rude and weird.
Had we let them alone from the jump, we would not be where we're at today. Homophobia on the rise.
Oh yeah. Also keep in mind, keep in mind, this is like the whole like, oh, if we had left the kids alone thing. Complete and utter bullshit. The right has always used children as a Trojan horse to legislate people out of society. They did it with gay people back in the 80s and throughout the 90s. This is idiocy. There's nothing but brainworms on that one. Because if you knew anything about the history of gay people in the United States, especially in the last 50 years, it's that gay people were already told that they were predators, that they were coming after the children. We can't let them get married. We can't let them adopt because then their kids are going to be sexually assaulted and blah, 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 and blah, 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 everything in between, right? So, like, when it comes down to it, the whole like target, using kids as the proxy has always been their goal.
Rise.
It's so obvious that the LGBT community has been completely hijacked by the queer activists, the radicalists.
I don't get it. Okay. Can somebody explain this to me? What is the difference between the lesbians, the gays, the bis, and everybody else, and like queer activists? Isn't everybody in the LGBT community queer? Isn't that the whole thing? Am I off base? I'm not in community, so I don't actually know the answer to that one, but like I always was under the assumption that kind of everyone was under that umbrella. I don't understand what they're even saying here. Also, homophobia is on the rise on the right. Like the right is becoming more vehemently homophobic after they kind of took a break after gay marriage got settled. They're back on they're back on their bullshit. So like I don't see how, like, why would you team up with these people? They don't think you should have, they don't like the Republican Party. What is it? The what was it? I think it was let's see, gay marriage. I think it was like 14 point drop. Senate, no. Let's see. Some Republicans see good politics in same-sex marriage. Young Republicans favor same-sex marriage. No. I want to see. Okay, fine. Republican Party gay marriage. All right, let's see. Yeah, I want like Senators insist they're just focused on trans rights. Voted to protect same-sex marriage. McCain. I want to find this. I want to find this poll. Support for same-sex marriage reflects a shift. This was last year. I want 2023. God damn it. Oh wait, no. Maybe don't say. Was it last? Poll shows. Here it is. Okay, here it is. Here we go. What is this from? Daily Beast. Cool. Poll shows GOP approval of same-sex relationships plummet in 2023. The current figure is the lowest Gallup has measured for Republicans since 2014, their loss, 39%. Lovely. Let's see. American supports a newly released Gallup poll. Oh, just give me that. Yeah, just give me the poll. Fewer in U.S. same-sex relations morally acceptable. Hit me with it. Let's take a look. Gay and lesbian relationships, 2022, 71, a 7-point drop. Death penalty, that's not what I care about. Morality of same-sex marriage. Okay. Morally acceptable. Jesus. Yeah, 14-point drop. Can I get a... There, this is what I want. Democrats, independents. Yeah, independents have what? In 2001, they were at... What percentage is this? Okay, we'll do 2002. 42%? Yeah, 47? It's gone up to 73. It's actually kind of... I think it's still at the highest it's ever been, which is good. Democrats, obviously a little bit above that. Republicans, though, look at this. 2022 drops all the way down here at the end. They have become like, and this isn't, let's be clear, this fucking dumbass over here is focusing on, this fucking idiot Amir Odom over here is focusing on like, pride in the trans people and this and that. Idiot. These people are less accepting of your marriage rights. He says, why do we need pride? We already had, there's nothing a gay man can't do anymore. We can get married now. You don't think that this number dropping, and it'll probably continue to do so, you don't think they're going to come back for gay marriage? That they're not going to fight tooth and nail to claw that back? You're out of your fucking mind. And let's be clear, when they repeal gay marriage, if they're ever able to get that far, this guy and Dave Rubin are going to say, that's okay, because we can agree to disagree. I guarantee you, that's going to be their line. They're going to say, what is it? Civil unions is acceptable.
This has all created a ton more of actual homophobia and transphobia. And now because children are always involved, anything even remotely gay is automatically criticized by the right.
And it sucks because now there is an entire stigma and hate towards the gay community when it's not even directed towards the gay community, it's directed towards the TQ plus side of the community. When us as gay people, the LGBTs, have really nothing to do with this. And I talk about this in another video, but
dude, I also love this. Like, I love the wedge that's like these people try to like separate themselves and like try to pluck themselves out of this community. That they are willing to come on here and be like, look, I'm in the LGB. I don't want anything to do with the TQ pluses. I'm one of the good ones, because that's what this is. This is just pick me bullshit. This is just pick me. I'm one of the good ones. Oh, Daddy Trump, please, give me some delicious tax cuts. That's all this is. And at the end of the day, this is the type of person that will sell your rights and their rights down the river as long as they can get paid. We have a term for this. I don't think I need to use it.
It's increasingly frustrating because there are some things that I want to be highlighted and prideful about and to really be accepted.
Why do you have pride though? Why, you just said you don't need any movement.
Because it doesn't even stop at pride being commercialized. It also bleeds into it being
oh, shut the fuck up. Everything is commercialized. Christmas is commercialized. Halloween's commercialized. St. Patrick's Day is commercialized. All of it is commercialized. Please shut the fuck up. It is not something new. It is the most normal fucking American capitalist bullshit thing that we have here, and you don't complain about it in any other venue. So please fucking spare me this economic stuff. Again, we don't need to address this any farther than saying bullshit take. They don't actually care about that.
Extremely political.
The Human Rights Campaign has declared a state of emergency for LGBTQ plus people in America.
I am fine. We are fine. We're good. The politics drives me up.
I mean, he's certainly fine. He's got, what, a PragerU deal, and they bought him 83.4K subs. So, I mean, let's be clear. Amir Odom is fine. He's doing perfectly fine. He's got a tape deal or something. Whatever that ad was earlier. he's doing all right, gay folks. So look. He's doing fine. All the rest of you gays, all the rest of you L's, the G's, the B's, the T's, and the T and the Q's and the pluses and everyone in between, he's doing fine. So you all need to be quiet. Christ.
A wall, and they keep using this term community as if they're inclusive and all about equality when they're everything but.
What do you think of Donald Trump? Donald Trump. Think he does anything for
Wait, you fucking moron. You goddamn, like, you smooth-brained idiot. Oh my God. The idea that this person is going to be like, they say they're accepting of everybody. Cuts to clip of somebody. What do you think of this political figure? Fuck that person. Oh, can you believe this gay here isn't in favor of conservative president, Republican Party leader currently for the 2024 election, Donald Trump? Can you believe that? Like, you fucking idiot. What you're describing is like ideological acceptance, which, fun fact, is not the same thing. I'm so sick and tired of people being like, you're not accepting of everybody, and then they're like, I'm a conservative and you're not accepting of my values. I'm like, cool, then you should change them or leave me alone. Like, it's so weird. These people constantly pretend that their conservatism is like part of their like identity and being. Every single day you fucking wake up and you choose conservatism. Every single fucking day. So please spare me your like nonsense. Oh, so much for the tolerant left if you're intolerant of my conservatism. Yeah, I ideologically oppose you, you fucking idiot. And conservatism in America, so much that it is a movement, which it is, by the way, they've got quite a lot of money and quite a lot of institutions. See the Federalist Society, see billionaires like Singer and like Harlan Crow. You know, at the end of the day, I have no interest in allowing you into my movement because you're not, you're ideologically driven in a way that is harmful towards this community, but towards the L's, the G's, the B's, the T's. And you know how I know that? Because the Republican Party polls worse in favor of gay marriage. They will take your rights away if they can, Amir Odom. They will do it like that if they can. And you're stupid enough to think that you're not going to be touched by that. That if you just say conservatism is right, conservatives are correct enough, that they'll leave your rights alone. That they'll carve out a little piece for you. But fun fact, not only do you have the unfortunate state to them of being a gay man, you are also a black man. So good luck with that Republican Party, partnership there, pal.
LGBT community? Nah, at all. What if I told you there's some things he's done that are pretty good? Would you believe? I'm not gonna listen to you.
It's very clear to
Then
me
he's
after going
probably
to
lying.
these sorts of events for the better part of the last 15 years, actually I think it's like 17 years, I'm getting old, that these events are no longer about people having same-sex attraction or being gender dysphoric. Wait.
But I thought they have. You showed me a lot of videos and told me that it was all about sex and stuff. Like, what is it? What is it then? Is it that Pride is about kind of whatever people show up for it about? For some people, it's about being around like people of like minds. For some, like, it's just
extremely, almost entirely political.
Truly, the only views that are accepted at Pride parades and under the LGBTQ flag is left-leaning views. That's about it.
The rainbow flag used to represent, at least for me, being same-sex attracted or someone that was innately actually transsexual, having gender dysphoria. Now, when I see it, I just think of political far leftism.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, a lot. Well, unfortunately, you can complain all you want, but the reason why the political alignment for, gay folks and trans folks and everyone in between is not because they just decided that they would all be liberals. It's because conservatives in the Republican Party have fought tooth and nail to keep their rights in a second-class state. That's why. There's a reason why you don't see a lot of gay Republicans and why you don't see a lot of conservative transes out there. It's because, quite frankly, the people who are in those groups, the people who have decided to join those groups, recognize that they can be a nice mouthpiece for them, but the Republican Party has no interest in passing legislation that will legitimize the rights of gay and trans people. It just won't happen. They're not interested in it. If they have the ability to do it, they won't every single time. And if they're forced to, maybe they'll do it. But at the end of the day, they have no interest in your rights, Ariel Scarcella. They have no interest in your rights. That's why nobody votes. And that's why you see it as a liberal group. Why you see the pride flag aligned with the Democratic Party, with more liberal-leaning politics. Because conservative politics aren't friendly to homosexuality. I don't know if you know about this.
Fortunate because there's a growing segment of gay people who feel this exact way. There's a growing segment of gay people who feel isolated and exiled by both the left and the right. And they're just stuck in the middle, politically homeless. It's like, well, damn, what am I supposed to do? Pride Month is not what it used to be. Corporations have taken over, and this push for things to become more family-friendly just needs to stop because I don't know how...
It's a really low bar, too. It's really funny. They make it into this, well, what do I do? Do I side with people who don't pay me money and tell me that they want to fight for my rights? Or do I side with people who are going to give me and shower me with money and fans and everything else and allow me to sit in a boring ass room in front of a camera and write shitty scripts and say dumb shit about politics that I have no idea about? PragerU pays this guy for this. Nobody pays me for doing any of this. I work incredibly hard for no payment whatsoever because I'm ideologically driven. This idiot is paid to be the gay voice of anti-trans and and homophobia, transphobia and homophobia. Sorry, these are your options. You get paid by fascists, or you join the rest of us. And you picked paid by fascists. I don't know what to tell you. And what's worse is it's a really low bar to not side with fascists. It's an incredibly low bar that's somehow not able to pass.
This is gonna end. I think we all can agree gay relations have not been this bad up until we brought kids into everything. And I don't know
Somebody's
why
never done
I
their
have
history.
to. I feel like a broken
They've
record
literally
saying
never
that,
done
but
their
we
history.
need to just leave them alone. Children are off limits. That's it.
The idea that gay relations are in a worse place now, when gay people currently have the right, at least for now, to be married. Hilarious. Really fucking hilarious, that one. For most of my life, for most of my life, all through my high school career, everything, gay people were always jokes, second-class citizens. But, now things are so much worse. Oh, my God.
Personally, you won't
it's
see me
called a
celebrating Pride
backlash.
Month. It's just pandering month at this point, and I'm just completely over it.
Yep.
I still
That is-
attend
yep.
Pride parades every
Yep.
year. In fact,
It is.
I'm
Same
probably
way
going to
December
at least
is
one or
pandering
two
month
this
for the
year.
Christians, yep.
But that doesn't mean that I think we need an entire month to celebrate. If anything, I think
Why
it would
not?
be a better idea if we took that month to fight for actual equality where it doesn't exist.
So yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch this.
That basically nothing. Go from celebrating Pride to what if we just do nothing? What if we just sit around and talk about other issues that aren't related to any of us? Yeah, totally. These people are so fucking dishonest, and it's disgraceful that this is the level of political engagement that we have to deal with on the right. It really is. It's disgraceful. Anyway, okay. Do we want to do the kick thing? I do, but I also kind of... Okay, what if we do this? What if we watch and respond to the RFK thing, and we'll watch the kick thing while we play Choo Choo Charles? That sound like a good, decent idea? I think that sounds like a good idea. Because the kick thing, I don't have that much commentary. I just kind of want to hear a little bit more. But okay. So, RFK Jr. is a Democratic Party primary challenger to Joe Biden. The only one that is I really think one would say a mildly legitimate challenger to Biden. If you ask me, I don't know if I can really call him a legitimate challenge, but he is the closest one to challenging Biden. People have been kind of losing their mind over specifically right wingers seem to be, and some of the some of the IDW guys have been losing their mind over him. Joe Rogan had him on a week or two ago, I want to say. He's a guy. He's got opinions. But something that I've noticed is, and something I noticed like a little bit after the Rogan appearance, was this weird misunderstanding of like health professionals and mixing that up with people who are healthy. You might have seen, okay, let's see. I wonder if I can find it. Who would you... let's see. RFK Jr. Hotez. Like, I want to see, okay. I want to see if I can find the meme. Oh, man. I don't know if I can find it. Maybe like Twitter? Was it on Twitter? Might have been on Twitter. Oh, yes. Wait, was this it? Is this on Twitter? This is on Twitter. Yes. Okay. Oh, no, it's Patrick Bet David. What a fucking idiot. Oh, my God. Jesus, dude. I hope one day I can make it on the PBD podcast, because goddamn is that dude like surface level dumb. Okay, yeah. You might have seen this kind of meme format going around. Who looks healthier? RFK at 69. Hotez 65. And like the whole joke is like, who would you take healthcare advice from? This 69-year-old guy who works out, or this 65-year-old doctor and scientist who isn't in shape? And it's like this like fucking Neanderthal take, right? Like it's utterly, it's the dumbest like, oh, he have big muscle, he must be smart, sort of dumb shit take, right? But like this has been taking hold in people's minds. And I saw Rising covered this, and I want to see like how bad this commentary got. I'm really dying to know.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is getting...
Dude, this guy, I can't get over this guy. Like, I don't know his politics. I know he's the conservative on the show, because isn't Brianna Joy Gray the other one, right? But this dude is fucking insufferable. Like, I see this guy, and I'm like, wow, now that right there is a crypto fascist. That right there. Jesus.
Shape to debate President Joe Biden, literally. Let's watch.
Okay. RFK post workout video. Get in shape for potential Biden debates. Like he does, like this is so like he's not gonna have a push-up contest with Biden. And secondly, whoever does more push-ups is not the better presidential candidate. Who thinks like this? Who is dumb enough to think like this? God damn, like, Jesus. And I know I'm like yelling a bit, but like there are people who saw that and went, oh yeah, that's my president right there, oh yeah.
RFK Jr. tweeted yesterday, as president, I will restore America as the global example of health and well-being, not through pills or syringes, but through character and self-discipline.
What is character and self... Okay. Sorry, I need to calm down because this is so fucking stupid. But this person's also a presidential candidate. What is character and self-discipline? What is that? Is that kicking the pores off of food stamps? Is that restricting them to only produce or something? Like, what does that even mean? And let's be clear, it means nothing. It means nothing. It just means I'm big, strong workout man. Like, that's all that shit means. Holy fuck. I can't believe our politics have gotten this bad. Holy shit. If you had asked me in 2016 when Bernie Sanders steps up to close a 60-point gap on Hillary Clinton and change the face of internal Democratic politics for the better, I would have said, oh my God, I cannot wait for maybe like 10 years down the road to see what kind of candidates we get. And now, 8 years down the road, 2 cycles later, this is what I get. Did we learn? We went from Bernie to a guy who can do push-ups. That's where our politics has gone. And that's where some people on the left, Brianna Joy Gray's in this video, we'll find out, we'll hear her commentary, but this is what some Bernie-crat type Democrats have turned to. This is the idiocy that they have turned to. God damn, man. What happens when your Messiah is gone? Oh my God.
Will continue to walk the walk and lead by example. Americans gained an average of 29 pounds during the COVID lockdowns. I will help turn this around by encouraging our citizens to exercise, eat well, and fortify their immune systems by removing harmful chemicals from our food.
This comes as a new poll shows 2 in 3 are concerned for President Biden's mental and physical health.
Yeah, and this is in pretty stunning contrast to the push-up moment that happened during the Biden 2020 campaign. I don't know if you remember, but he was confronted by someone at an event, a town hall of some kind, who was challenging him on Hunter Biden's work for a Ukrainian gas company and whether that was untoward and implicated Joe Biden. And Joe Biden hit back by, in part, challenging him to a push-up competition. I think we have that clip as well.
He is way too fucking eager. Why? Dude, why is Brianna Joy Gray like this? Just why? I need to know.
Let him go. Look, the reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on it? Let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do.
What a fucking
So at the time, some people criticized him by saying that kind of machismo, challenging people to push-up contests, saying "listen, fat" wasn't exactly presidential or what we wanted from candidates.
Wasn't that a slip? The "listen, fat" thing wasn't he like trying to say like "listen, the fact is" or something? I don't remember. I also don't care. Push-ups aren't like the fucking measurement in which I like go to the ballot box and make a decision on.
What is going on here? Is this a heel turn where we're now celebrating? So many people are celebrating RFK Jr. What's going on here?
I mean, so at first we just have to be honest. He looks very good for his age. He's in incredible shape.
Fine. It's fine.
I don't know what his routine is, if it's just working out or what the deal is, but I would love to be in good shape when I'm that age, so good for him. That doesn't affect who I would vote for or support in any way whatsoever.
You don't have a lifting litmus test for your presidents?
No, and if people put any stock in who could beat who up or do more push-ups in anything but the most philosophical, again, who would win in a fight? I love having those kinds of pretend philosophical.
So you're not going to watch Zuckerberg versus Musk either.
Yeah, well, that's what I was coming to. What is this moment where we're just challenging people to fight or something?
Yeah, look, it feels sort of regressive. I think that we can live in a.
I'm calling it now. RFK Jr. is anti-vaccines, but I would put money on the fact that he takes steroids to help build up that 70-year-old physique. No man has a body like that at 70 without steroids. He's a fucking hypocrite. Prove me wrong and come with receipts. I'll wait. Jesus. RFK fans and supporters are big mad about my tweet about his steroid use. I don't actually really know. You can be in really good shape. It's not impossible, but RFK Jr. is not a the thing that kind of irritates me about his statement is he's like, average Americans gained 29 pounds over the course of the pandemic. Yeah, average Americans don't sit on their asses and fucking go to work out every day. Normal people have jobs to go to. Most people. What's the percentage of people who even have gym memberships? I'm actually kind of curious. Let's see. Percentage. God damn it. Of gym membership? Let's see. There are 64.19 million Americans who are members of a gym or a health club. This equates to about 19% of the population. I am so curious. Okay. Income bracket gym there it is. Membership percentage. Okay. Gym membership in the US by income 2019. Ooh, okay. I'm so fucking curious. Yep. there's like a weird dip from 75 to 100, which actually might not be that weird, because if you're making this much, there's a good chance you might be this might include the retired bracket. But yeah, look at how different this number is. What is this? 6.68 for people making 25,000 or less, compared to 25% of people making over 100,000. This is what we call a class divide right here. The reason why RFK Jr. is in such good shape isn't because he's some hard-working American. It's because he's in the higher income bracket. Because higher income bracketed people have a bit more free time. They also have more money to spend on better gym memberships and better health supplements and things of that nature, or just have like their own personal trainers. Like normal people, you and I, people who go to work every day, don't have those resources. The best I can do is work out in my living room, and even then it's like, you can, if you don't have money to buy weights, or you don't have somewhere to put the weights, then you're just stuck with doing push-ups, sit-ups, the really basic stuff. But you can't do anything on machines unless you have, unless you have the room for it, which wealthier people generally, statistically have more space for those sorts of things. So yeah, this is like that number. I can almost guarantee you the number that he's pulling from of Americans who gained 29 pounds over the pandemic, it ain't come from the group of people who have gyms or have gym memberships. It's going to come from normal working people who lost their jobs and like suffer from deep depression due to that experience. Yeah, this is like, yeah. Anyway,
a world where we appreciate the physical fitness and health and well-being of presidential candidates, while not making it somehow a weird attribute to their ability to being a good president of the United States.
I mean, but RFK there didn't say it. He said, I'm getting in good shape and showed some videos. No, it wasn't a confrontational. Actually, it wasn't nearly as confrontational as Joe Biden's own remarks to a random town hall participant.
I agree. I think Biden's were actively problematic, and RFK Jr.'s is a neutral good.
Yes.
Wow.
Agreed.
Jesus. The fact. Okay. Let's think about that for a second. Brianna Joy Gray is supposedly a leftist, right? She's so much more accomplished than me. As a leftist, she should have seen immediately the numbers that he quoted and should have been able to see that class divide. But notice that she didn't. Now, I'm not saying she's a bad leftist or anything. Brianna Joy Gray is mostly fine, I guess. She's got a lot of sussy stuff that I've seen of her takes. But like, you're the person who represents leftism broadly on this show. Somebody who has a podcast, who claims to be this, like, I don't know if she claims to be a socialist, but certainly at least socialist adjacent. And you didn't see that? You didn't notice? He makes a point. People did gain weight, but is there something deeper that we could be looking into as to which group did gain that weight, or which group has a propensity to gain weight under those circumstances, and which group isn't? Which groups are able to get gym memberships and go to the gym like this and look this good at 70? My grandfather didn't look this good at 70. He was a fucking Korean War vet who took like a bullet in the knee, but he didn't look this good. He worked out a bit. He had a bench press in the basement, but that, and like, some dumbbells, but that was it. That's all he could do. He was a truck driver the rest of his life. He was a working man, an iron grit kind of guy. Is RFK any of those things? No. RFK was a lawyer and a Kennedy. No wonder he's in amazing shape. He's had a personal fitness guy like his entire life, to the point in which he didn't need him at that point.
But I mean, I did see some conversation happening about what this means for, female candidates, for instance. If we're in this world where there's this kind of boys club atmosphere where Elon Musk is having RFK Jr. on, and he says he'll have any candidate on, but has ignored Marianne Williamson's taking him up on that request.
Whoa, shocker
If it does seem like everyone's just going on everybody's podcast and they're smoking cigars with Bill Maher and doing all of this sort of thing, is that creating a space that is...
For Bill Maher.
Sure. But is that creating a space that is kind of perpetuating a very narrow range of who possibly could be president and what kind of attributes we're looking for in candidates?
Well, what it's actually doing is narrowing the the imagination of those viewers. What it actually is quartering off the people who watch those shows. You're essentially corralling them all into the dumbest fucking political take space that you can, and then constantly like feeding that like group of people. There's a reason why RFK keeps showing up on like a million right-wing podcasts and a million IDW shows and everything in between, because quite frankly, he's not running for president. He's building a brand. RFK Jr. is going to get a podcast probably next year. And then maybe he tries to run again. But if nothing else, this run will stand. This run will happen. He ain't going to succeed. And, you know, next he's going to get a nice podcast deal. And then he's going to make a whole bunch of money being a formal presidential candidate, in the Democratic Party, somebody who was snubbed by the media, everything else, all the narrative. And, he'll get a decent amount of subscribers, make some money. That's what this is going to end at. He's going to just be another IDW, the lamestream media, wouldn't cover me. I'm a leftist, but I have no real leftist critique of anything sort of guy.
Candidates.
I guess, which is just to be clear, it's the views of the candidates that matter to me and should matter to everyone. I don't want COVID mandates and lockdowns, and I want a more sane foreign policy. I want some economic things that you probably don't agree with. And I'm going to support whoever is most in line with those things, regardless of how many push-ups they do or what they smoke or whoever.
But Robbie,
it doesn't matter.
We know that you're not necessarily everyone. And the kind of, do I want to have a beer with them metric has long been something that's bandied about when discussing whether or not folks are going to come out and vote for a given candidate.
I also, by the way, I don't think the whole beer thing, the whole like, would I get a beer with this person? Like, that's the X factor to me. And it's the X factor that I think will always put Trump over basically every other Republican candidate. To which we have one more, actually. Another one entered earlier today. Something Hurd, I think was his name. I think maybe it was Purd. Who knows? But I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to get fucking smeared on the
gets to the pavement. Again, we had Hillary and Trump, two of the most just universally reviled people as our candidates. And
well, that's not true. Hillary Clinton, yes, absolutely. Donald Trump, not really, actually. Donald Trump, for whatever you want to say about him, he was just a reality show guy and a WWE Hall of Famer. That's really it. Like, he wasn't, Donald Trump, when he came on the scene, was not this, like, immediately controversial figure, because he was just kind of a business guy. He was a TV reality show business guy. He was idiocracy come finally to our front door. But that was kind of it. And then his politics ended, then he kind of ended up adopting a lot of really extreme, like, right-wing policies to get elected. And that was pretty much it. Republican voters voted for him because he was uncouth, because he was entertaining, because he's fun to watch, and because he owns the libs. Like, that's why they vote for him then, and that's why they're going to vote for him now. But, like, that's kind of it. There wasn't, nobody hated Trump the same way they did, like, in 2016 when he actually won. When he actually won, that's when a lot of the hate came through. But, like, in the beginning, it was just like, oh, this guy's a fucking joke. But as he kept winning, then people recognized he's a bit of a danger to, to the democracy and stuff, which is fair.
And then
but, like,
Joe
Hillary
Biden
Clinton started out at a deficit
if it's an improvement over Hillary Trump, it wasn't by very much.
Yeah, but look at the 2016 Republican field. Name one person who would rather have a drink with in that group over Donald Trump.
I don't have a drink with Donald. Donald Trump doesn't drink. Donald Trump doesn't give I would be fun to hang out with vibes, do you think?
Yeah, because he's
tell me in the comments if you disagree,
people. He's a TV show guy.
If there are people out there who obviously there are people out there who worship Trump, but I don't know if it's I could see myself hanging out with him kind of worship. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if you disagree.
Get myself in trouble. But if my options are having a dinner with Donald Trump versus Carly Fiorina or Ben Carson or Chris Christie or Jeb Bush or whomever else was, Nikki Haley, whoever else was in the running back in 2016.
I'm going to come off like a weird never-Trumper, anti-Trumper. I would rather have dinner with any of those people.
Are you serious?
vote for someone. But it does show a high degree of discipline. And that's a vote-worthy characteristic. Jesus.
The speech he is when he like
I
don't
think
know
it
if
shows
he's
that he practices the things he preaches.
Okay, if you apparently you're going to give up the opportunity if it comes down the pike to sit down for a Big Mac and fries with the former president. I mean,
again, that's not my style.
All right, but this is
Like,
a little bit.
Look at this comment section. Having a physically fit president would say a lot about this country and the person leading when in a physically fit position. First of all, I don't know what physically fit position means, but secondly, physically fit JFK. FDR was not like physically fit. The man was dying of polio, and he's like easily what, top 2, top 3. He's he's a top guy. He's a top guy in terms of president. So like, it's same with even Roosevelt, even like Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt was not like a incredibly athletic guy. He was a big guy, but like he was such a badass of a president. Like it's so stupid. Respect RFK. Well rounded. Jesus, if anybody can get the U.S. on the right track, it's RFK Jr. Oh my God, he's walking the walk with health. It's a character issue. He obviously does things physically several times a week, but doesn't just tell people to take a pill or a jab. I think that this is great for a president, not necessary, but I'm more impressed with that than say a policy position that he can just ignore when in office. He could just ignore anything in office, you idiot. The more I learn about RFK, the more I love his message. The last time I thought, oh, these people, oh, this comment section is fucking cancer. Okay, we're moving on. We're getting out of here. All right. So should we finish? Should we pick up? God, that was awful. Should we pick up where we left off with Choo Choo Charles? I'm thinking, what do we got, like 40 minutes? I think we can beat it in that amount of time. I believe it's possible. Nope, that's the wrong folder. Actually, 1 second. Let me mute the desktop so it doesn't like start up all loud as shit. Oh wait, I wanted this open because I said we'd watch the kick thing. Okay. Here it is. Close that, close that. Remove that. Oh, oof. For a minute I thought I had to uninstall an update. I was about to say, God damn it. Oh my God, shush. Shush. Okay, cool. Let's put this maybe like up here. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. We'll do this. We'll do this. I'll do this. What am I looking for? Oh, my OBS. I'm stupid. Okay. And that. Let me. Where is? Oh, it's over here. Okay. We need to move this kind of. We'll like move this. Yeah, we'll like move this here so I can keep an eye on chat. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see how loud this is. Not awfully so. Full screen this bad boy. All right, and where's the little mini player thing? There it is. Okay, cool. That looks good to me. All right. So yeah, kick is a whole thing.
Never happened in internet history. Now let me explain.
All right, move that back. Cool, cool. It's already downloaded. We should be good. I'm just making sure. The main thing is always like how everything is running, which I think we'll be fine on. Let me check my performance really quick. See, this is what happens when you don't have a rig yet. Okay. We are running quite a lot of the computer's power, but you know, I think we'll be fine. Let me see. What do we have on the graphics right now? Medium across the board? Medium across the board? Okay, that looks, yeah. We'll keep it on medium across the board. All right, cool. Oh, I need to... pick up where you left off every time. Lovely. All right. So we got all of the stuff. Like, we have everything. We're gonna turn this down just a nudge, maybe.
Kick is taking over right now, and trust me when I say this could be one of the worst things that's ever happened in internet history. Now let me explain. When XQC partnered up with Kick, this marked one of the most transformative moments in social media. Big tech companies are finally being competed against with new, strong, freedom of speech first sites. While Rumble takes off in the background, Kick is one of the main sites, slicing into big tech's control of the internet. In particular, Kick is challenging the dominance of Twitch, one of the worst sites for freedom of speech. Because you see, XQC's move to Kick was not just a simple platform switch, this is a seismic event in the streaming world, and everyone is talking about it. And for XQC, this is truly one of the best contracts you could have possibly dreamed of. A 2-year, $100 million deal with Kick. A contract that's not even exclusive. $100 million. Providing XQC the 12th, quote, largest sports contract ever signed.
I'm stupid.
And at the same time, this is allowing Kick to take over the internet. Because what is far more crazy than this contract is what this contract means for social media, as this has caused for the first time in Kick's history the just chatting section, a popular category where streamers interact with their audience, to now have more viewers than Twitch's equivalent, attributed to the recent term the Aiden Ross XQC effect.
Should we just go straight into the fight?
Alone led to a huge surge in traffic that led to 50 times the usual level of engagement on Kick's site, causing stability issues and even causing the site to crash temporarily. And it wasn't just XQC that jumped ship either. Other prominent streamers have also followed suit. Amaranth, another popular streamer, announced her move to Kick just days after XQC's announcement. Her debut on Kick attracted over 11,000 viewers. And it's also suggested that she too might be operating under a non-exclusive deal with Kick, something similar to XQC's agreement. And it's not just her. There are countless other rumored moves, including even Asmongold.
Well, a lot of people ask me about if I'm going to go to another platform. People ask this all of the time. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
Well, one of the craziest things of all of this is that Mr. Beast, the biggest social media star in history, is now also hinting at the possibility of doing a stream on Kick. In fact, Mr. Beast's increased engagement with Kick's social media posts is now actually sparking rumors about a potential collaboration or involvement between the two. With his responses to tweets from Kick have suggested a level of interest in the platform against its competition Twitch. A speculation that's been further fueled by Kick's recent announcement that 6 big names, currently undisclosed, are now set to join their platform, prompting everyone online to think that Mr. Beast may be one of them. But let's slow down for a second. Why is all of this happening seemingly out of nowhere? What's actually going on here? Why is everyone jumping ship from Twitch? And why is this possibly one of the worst things in internet history? Well, there's so much to unpack here, and no one's been speaking about the other happening seemingly big names, currently undisclosed.
No, okay, it's Trainwrecks. Okay.
And now set to join their platform, prompting everyone online to think that Mr. Beast may be one of them. But let's stay out for a second. Why is all of this happening seemingly out of nowhere? What's actually going on here? Why is everyone jumping ships from Twitch? And why is this possibly one of the worst things in internet history? Well, there's so much to unpack here, and no one's been speaking about the other side of what this means for all of us. And so to understand why I think this is going to be one of the worst things for social media and in turn society, we need to see why Kick will destroy Twitch in the next few years. And to understand this, we need to see why XQC actually moved to Kick. Now, for those who don't know who XQC is,
you know what else kind of gets me? Okay, so with the Twitch stuff, right? Like, we have Kick kind of coming up, and they're throwing around like a lot of fucking money. I don't know what their investment is looking like. Like, I have no idea what their, you know, how much money they have in the bank, how much they have like from investors to like get everything started and everything. But like, I don't know. This is throwing a lot of money up front in the hopes that you're paying a lot of this back. And I know the deals are a little bit more fair, but I don't know.
Streamer in the world.
We'll just have to see, I guess.
Outside from the obvious reason, there are some other interesting sectors in a much larger capital. In the video explaining, we discussed the competition and collaboration in the streaming space.
We're gonna pause this video so I can, because I'm pretty sure you can't hear both of these. So let's finish this, then we'll continue watching this though. Oh my god. Reload. He's upset. Okay, this one. God. This one. damn it. Okay. We were having this trouble earlier. I don't know if we have enough resources. Like, it might be that we might have to go farm for a bunch of stuff. Like, that might be what has to happen. Okay, respawn a train. Okay, clearly this is the case where we need to farm resources, because I don't have enough we don't have any scrap, and without scrap you can't like do stuff. You can't heal, which, so let's see if we can try and, we need like one of those boxes, or we just need to, maybe I just need to run around the open world. Okay, but as we do that though, okay, let me stop real quick. As we kind of hunt for some resources, let's get back to the video, shall we?
Lack in competition, and I feel like guys, I'm something that I haven't seen in a long time, okay, and it's pretty insane. I think.
Oh yeah, by the way, I have no fucking clue who XQC is.
Has been suffering.
No clue.
And I feel like not having options for people to do just no competition. It seems like we haven't seen a lot of people blow up and come out of the woodwork and just be able to discover themselves, people discover them just with basic Twitch discoverability.
They mean that Twitch needs competition and that they're not taking care of their creators.
Twitch's discoverability is shit.
After being banned 3 times on Twitch. And this guy's one of the most vanilla creators out there. Twitch is notorious for being one of the most censoring, anti-free speech sites the internet has ever seen. And that's why one of the main points he discussed in the video is the potential bottleneck caused by having only one dominant player in
my entire
platform,
Twitch career.
as Twitch has a monopoly on streaming as a whole. As XQC stressed the importance of being able to explore other options and push away from the control that Twitch has online. And I mean, he's not wrong here. Twitch is the most authoritarian social media site out there, with the site banning watch just simp, incel, and virgin, along with introducing misinformation standards that can penalize users propagating, quote, false information that goes against mainstream narratives to Twitch.
So
and a lot
it's
of this stems from
TOS?
Twitch moderation system. I mean, in 2020, Twitch instituted a safety advisory council tasked with formulating new policies, promoting responsible streaming habits, and safeguarding marginalized groups. However, controversy was sparked with the appointment of Steph Lower to the council. Now, there was controversy surrounding this, given her remarks like,
I think a lot of you gamers are actually white supremacists. Just a fact.
Whoa, crazy.
As deer gender.
Is that
she used to describe her identification with a deer. Further fuel was then added to the controversy.
Is that really the big one that
stream, which
some gamers are white supremacists? Which, yeah, I would.
But this wasn't the main problem here.
I wouldn't say is that crazy of a thought.
Terms of service and impose permanent bans on streamers.
I have power. They can't take it away from me. And honestly, there are some people that should be afraid of me.
and she would use her powers with glee, creating one of the biggest echo chambers that we see today with Twitch, stifling any creators that went against the status quo on the site. And it was the stifling of creators.
Okay, so this is what I'm now wondering, because of the way that this is getting framed makes me think that this is a like. So again, I don't know all that much about Kick. I don't know who's behind it. If they're throwing around $100 million, that tells me that there's significant money behind it. Which then you have to wonder, okay, who is... If the issues with Twitch are it's too censorious, right? Well, the first question is, all right, what is censorious to the person making this claim? And if it's, kind of the, if it's having this non-binary person or whatever, deer person, whatever the fuck their name is, I didn't pay that much attention to whoever they are personally. But if it's going to be something like, there's quite a few of you gamers who are white supremacists, then yeah, that kind of makes you wonder a little bit if this is one of those right-wing, we're not allowed to be anti-Semites and everything in between sort of deals that they're calling censorship when it's really enforcement of TOS that they agreed to and signed to. So there's a little bit of that makes me nervous about this, but also like, going back to the money really quickly, who's funding this is an important part of that conversation as well. Because then you really need to be asking, like, okay, if this is the issue that we are going to be solving on Kick, if Kick is supposedly a, the solution to Twitch, which absolutely Twitch has a pretty monopolistic grip on streaming in general. There really is no streaming unless you're streaming on Twitch. Like, yes, you can stream on YouTube. I stream on both YouTube and Twitch, but the idea of doing one over, like, the idea of oh shit, okay, fuck you. The idea of only doing one of them, I don't know. Like, when I was making decisions about where, like, which platform to stream, it mostly came down to who has, the audience, who's it's going to be, who has the most amount of people and the most amount of access to viewers. But also, keep in mind, there's also an element of what they mentioned in the video is discoverability. Discoverability on Twitch is dog shit, like utter fucking dog shit. I can't speak as much to YouTube since I haven't been streaming on there as long. But like, even with YouTube, you have the ability to upload like videos that stay on the platform indefinitely, and unless something happens to your account or something. So like, there is that element to it as well. Okay. Oh, please. I need so much scrap. Okay. How much scrap do we have now? 20? Isn't it like, how much is it to fix? It's 1 scrap to fix, and it fixes 10%. So I could go down. Okay. So if let's get 30 and then we're good. And then we'll go and do the boss fight. But yeah, I'm trying to remember what I was saying. Like the overall, I guess concern I have a little bit is, actually, could I upgrade? How many more upgrades do I have? Oh, I need 28 for that. Armor's all the way upgraded. Oh, this is what I need. Okay, maybe I need to just farm to get the rest of the upgrades. What was I saying? But yeah, none of these platforms I think are really that great. Like the thing you're waiting for on YouTube is for the algorithm to just pick you up. Like that is pretty much the only way you really survive on YouTube is the algorithm, or if you have access to a built-in audience somewhere. At least in terms of Twitch, personally, I've had more success pulling people in during streams on Twitch than I have YouTube, but I'm assuming that's because of the, you know, how many people are watching streams on Twitch as a platform as opposed to on YouTube as a platform. And I've heard YouTube's very good, you know, in terms of their like relationship to creators and stuff on for their streams. Although I did get bothered because I showed a clip from I think it was the newsroom, like a really low quality shit clip, but like I still got tagged for it, and I think I still have like a little mark thing on my account that's like, hey, you know, you gotta don't play this or something or whatever. So yeah, that's like also kind of a pain in the ass. But either way, yeah, I you know, it just makes me I'm a bit skeptical that the kick thing is really going to be anything more than a more right-leaning alternative to Twitch, and if it will take off, because I mean the names like Amaranth is a big name as far as I know. You know, I've heard the name before, so I mean the fact that I don't really have a clue who she is, you know, kind of tells me that probably a bigger name you know, than I'm giving credit to right now. But like, she's going over pretty, I mean, it's fairly obvious she's going over because the bag, like, you know, there's a pretty clear, like, they're gonna pay me more, and I'm here to get paid sort of thing. And you know, for content like that, I really, you know, I can't fault somebody who's, you know, they're making content, they're paying their bills, they're doing all this stuff. You know, I can't knock that. But for somebody like me, like I do political content, there is it's like, you know, no platform I feel is very friendly to political commentators that aren't, you know, CNN or Fox News or MSNBC affiliates. You know, we're scrutinized quite a lot on basically every platform, and I don't get the sense that Kick is going to be a more free alternative, just a more you know, based on this little bit of video that we've watched so far, I just don't get the sense that they're going to be like a markedly better platform for information, just a better platform for a different kind of information. You know, like there are going to be people who, where the fuck am I? Oh shit, I meant to go to the swamp. I'm stupid as shit. Okay, nope, go back. Okay. We need to go back, and then, oh buddy, we need to go like way back. Okay. Yeah, we got a ways to go here. Okay. Right. Am I, will it let me go all the, well, wait, would it be faster to go around? Maybe? Might be faster to go around. Oh. Let's see where it takes us. Because we need to just kind of go, like, we'll go straight down this way, right? Oh, whoops, wrong one. We'll go straight down this way, and then, do I have an option of which way to go? Okay, no, okay, cool. We went the way I wanted. Okay, yeah, we'll hit up Homegirl with this, and then, yeah, okay, cool. And then that should give us enough, and I think that should be good. I think that should be good to like survive the final battle. I think that would be good. We just have to keep an eye on our health when we do it. Also, you know, I just realized we're not in full screen. Display. Where is it? Full screen. There we go. But anyway, yeah, let's go back. That is just my general thoughts.
With diverging opinions by Twitch that eventually led
yeah,
to
like
the biggest
diverging opinions. That's
suspended on the site.
That's a big red flag
like
to me personally.
XQC, one of the most bland, uncontroversial people that has risen to the top of the platform. However, this doesn't stop with just Twitch censorship. As importantly, MrBeast fired shots at Twitch on Twitter for its terrible support towards the financial growth of its creators.
Oh yeah, and Twitch is an awful platform. This isn't a defense of Twitch so much as it's just.
And in stark contrast, Kick has been making waves by luring content creators with this enticing revenue split and non-exclusivity.
Yeah, and keep in mind, it's like one of them is fucking
total earnings.
What is Sneeko? Is that his name? One of them is that fucking like
5% going to the platform. A highly
fucking
that has actually
amoeba
prompted Twitch to introduce a 70-30 revenue split model for some creators, but today it still stands at 50-50. But it doesn't stop there. Kick is also the first platform to offer hourly pay to all streamers, provided that they meet certain conditions. These include active streaming for at least 4 hours a day for 30 days a month, staying awake during the stream, keeping a webcam focus on their face, and being of legal age.
Wait.
Conditions, all content creators.
Wait. What was that? Wait. Being awake and interacting with the chat, it will not serve to streams or sleeping. Can just a minimum of 4 hours a day and 30 days up. That's every fucking day. That's every day. Always be seen on the webcam. Oh my goodness. 4 hours a day. Every day. That's every day. That's a lot. That's a lot of streaming. I'm not like that seems like a lot. Ooh, buddy, that seems like a lot. I couldn't even, logistically, I couldn't even stream that much. There's like zero chance I'd even be able to logistically stream that much. That's why is this not here? Okay, this is what we'll do. Everything that's easy. You think it's, okay. I guess, no, I don't even like to say that. No, I actually don't think that's that easy. I actually don't. I don't think that's, it's not as easy as one might think it is.
And if you meet these conditions, all content creators can earn a respectable $16 per hour streaming, which after a whole day of streaming, including sleep, this adds up to a substantial amount of money. In addition, Kick doesn't censor people for bogus reasons. There aren't power mods.
Bogus reasons. That's a bit vague.
There is no political echo chamber ruining Kick, like there is with Twitch. But all of this does beg the question:
the requirement to get that to work every single day, that's kind of
contract there, 95/5 revenue splits, hourly wages, brand marketing, and endless new contracts with the world's biggest streamers. All of this competing against Jeff Bezos' Twitch that has all the funds of Amazon and all of the corporate silicon backing that you could dream of. How on earth is Kick doing all of this? And what is the future going to look like between Twitch and Kick? Well, you see, this is where things take a much darker turn. Here's why. You see, Kick was founded less than a year ago, on December 1st, 2022, and the entire goal of the site was to defeat Twitch once and for all, through looser moderation policies and high revenue shares for streamers.
Yeah, and that makes me nervous too. Looser moderation makes me nervous. Yeah, that makes me a lot more nervous. What if I lock it? No, that's FMV. No. What if we lock it at 30? Will you cooperate, game? What the fuck is going on? You know what I don't understand? Why this game cooperated for the first stream we did with it. Should we do windowed again? Windowed full screen, I guess? No. Let's do windowed again. 240, 160. Okay. Yeah, what if we lock it at 30? You gonna cooperate now? God, PC games, man. Anyway. In the age of data, just whip out your phone and show off some camel too. Man, I wish it was that simple. Fuck, there it is. Okay. No, I don't know. Revenue split 95% streamers, 5% for the this doesn't sound sustainable. Most generous in streaming, Kick split is often compared to Twitch's former 50-50 split between creators and the platform, less frequently with YouTube taking a 30% cut. God, 30 seems more on the fair side. 50-50 is ridiculous, but 50 is ridiculous. I think 30 is sustainable. None of this sounds sustainable to me. I'm you know, I'm not an economics guy as much, but like this doesn't sound that sustainable from a certain standpoint. At least to me, it just doesn't. I don't know. I'm funded by It's funded by. Oh, is that why? Wait, is that why it's funded by Oh, that's okay. So I didn't know that. Also, this person hasn't said that yet. So Twitch is insane with moderation. Communities can moderate themselves. Nazis should be in the open, not hiding in private Telegram and WhatsApp groups. I mean, I'd kind of prefer them to be hiding. It's better for them to be hiding. You know, not feel stake.com. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. So that's why. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Yeah. Okay, so that's why it's unsustainable, because they're not actually looking the backbone to this is not going to be streamers and like their communities. It's going to be you know, the gambling half of it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. I mean, it like shady as shit, but yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Stakes. God. Is this just all it is? Is this what the internet has become now? It's just like, you know, you get streamers to get onto your platform so that they can be in the presence of like open gambling. So maybe one of the underage viewers can like click on like, you know, some ninja video or something. I don't know who still streams Fortnite or whatever the fuck, but you know, some ninja video so they can all bet V-Bucks on you know, who's gonna win the fucking game, and then, you know, one of them can make, you know, and they make like a, I don't know, like 20% split of the V-Bucks. Alright. Gambling and tits. Well, I guess there's nothing more American than gambling and tits. Tits. Okay. Respawn a train. Okay, yeah, we gotta move back. Anyway, let's keep the video rolling.
At least that's what the founders of Kick wanted people to believe. However, these co-founders weren't your typical Silicon Valley startup founders. They were Bijan Tehrani and Ed Craven, also known as the co-founders of Stake.com, a crypto casino company operating out of Australia. Now, the company's history is very shady, and this video would be way too long if I went into all the details, but they've been in a bunch of controversies for using celebrity endorsements and sponsorships to promote gambling, forming partnerships with Twitch streamers, celebrities, and major corporations such as the UFC. And the founders are now online for posting videos of themselves gambling on the platform, which raised some questions in the past about the legality of the company's actual operations, given that online casinos are prohibited in Australia. And the people funding Stake, Saudi Arabian oil lords, who could potentially influence the company's strategies and decision-making, as these investors may have specific interests or political goals related to the live streaming and entertainment industry. They want to gain money and power rather than just making money from the sites alone. And that's where the concept of lifetime value of a customer is introduced. Now, this refers to the amount of money a customer is likely to spend over the lifetime of interacting with a product or service. And because Kick is so affiliated with gambling, this is where they will date people for a lifetime, all while sucking their money away. In addition, Stake.com's use of cryptocurrency has made people skeptical of the company, as the company's use of digital currencies makes it universally accessible around the world and evasive from any central government regulation, which is a very dangerous thing when it comes to gambling, because with these factors combined, Stake.com creates a false sense of winning and losing, as by using
makes like so much sense
you
now.
often
It's just
lose
a
large
gambling
amounts of
ring.
money in a matter of minutes, only to recoup it back with a jackpot moments later straight into your Bitcoin wallet. And this dynamic was perfectly exemplified by Trainwreck's TV, a streamer who had over 2 million followers on Twitch and who became infamous for his gambling streams where he waged away millions of dollars.
Keep going. No.
Fucking disgusting.
Oh my god. I told you that fight was coming, baby.
Oh my god,
And more
it's
importantly,
disgusting.
Trainwreck's TV, along with many other streamers, was sponsored by Stake.com to play on their site, creating a surge in the slots category on Twitch, driven by these sponsored gambling streams, primarily by Stake.com. And bear in mind, anyone
This
could watch
fucking
them.
idiot.
Children, teenagers, adults, anyone can just go online and watch their favorite influencers gamble their money away. And more importantly, during
keep
these
in mind
20
it's
to 40
gambling
hour
all. If
streams,
you're a
Trainwreck
sub to
TV
like
were
any of these
mostly
guys, they're
slots using
gambling
large
your
amounts of
money out.
But there was
You're
absolutely no
paying them
control
so that
in your
they can
chances
just
of winning.
throw their money
and over
away
the course of these streams,
at
it
the
was reported that
slots.
he wagered over $1 billion in gambling. And yet despite all of
Jesus.
his losses, he was able to always continue to stream because of his contract with Stake.com. In addition to his $14 million and $22.5
Also,
million
for an
large
online
jackpots.
thing like
And even
this,
with
you don't
these high
think they
jackpots,
just
he
put it
was
in the
always down
algorithm
at
that he
least $15
wins
million.
a
And he
certain
was always able
percentage?
to
Like, this
continue
is
gambling
obviously very
because he was
rigged.
being paid by the gambling site that he was losing this money to, which brings up questions. Stake.com was actually manipulating the games that he was playing, all while
Obviously, they
funding all
were.
of his gambling and paying him extra to do it, all while promoting gambling to a huge audience around the world. But it wasn't just people like Trainwreck TV. It's gone way bigger than this. Stake.com is particularly famous for its collaboration with Drake, who is constantly showing his big bets in boxing matches and football matches, reaching hundreds of millions of people around the
Fucking
world,
piece of
using
shit.
Drake's brand to promote gambling to anyone in his audience.
Dude, you're already a fucking bajillionaire, man.
So with this in mind, it's no surprise why they created Kick, the perfect platform to get all of
It's
these
always like
influencers
rich
and
people
streamers
too that
to
are like
safely
betting
support
away
Stake.com.
thousands upon
Instead of
thousands
actually
of
directly
dollars.
promoting these people
I
on
said it
Twitch
earlier
or
with another
celebrities on
story
Instagram,
during the
they
Ocean
can just
Gate
create a
segment
whole
last week.
community
This is
and
what
entire
happens when you
social
don't
media
tax rich
site
people
for
enough.
everyone to do their own
They
bidding.
just dick
And that's
around
why
and
it's
like
notable,
gamble their
for
money
instance, that
away.
Drake was actually one of the first people to do a live stream on Kick, in addition to Trainwreck TV, which came just at the perfect timing as it was banned from Twitch for gambling during these streams. And then with some huge contracts of tens of millions of dollars, new streamers piled in, people like Aiden Ross and Bruce dropping them off. In fact, it's claimed that Aiden Ross's contract.
Oh, was that
could have been
Aiden Ross?
above
That's not
$100
Sneeko?
million.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
And
They're
then,
both
of
dumb
course,
fucks.
we're here today. And with Aiden Ross moving to Kick, the
Look at this
site has
fucking
massively
idiot
grown
wannabe
since.
Drake looking
And whilst
ass.
this might not seem crazy,
God, what a
people
fucking
like
simp.
Destiny would then jump on board, and in some cases gaining more views on Kick than he did on YouTube. And now with the recent flurry of streamers heading towards the site,
nice.
this process is only being catalyzed further and further. And as Kick gains more popularity, this means that Stake is able to promote gambling to an even greater audience. And if they do eventually get to Twitch's size, they will have unparalleled influence compared to any other gambling site in the world, with the ability to
So this
use
is
their
also the
influence
thing?
beloved influencers to promote gambling to anyone and everyone.
This is
which
also
will
the thing.
only
This is
continue
what
to
this is
fund
going to be a
Kick's
short
dominance.
life.
And yet at the same
I
time,
think, for
Twitch's
Kick.
financial stability is uncertain. Despite reporting
I
$2.8
don't.
billion
I like I said it earlier. I don't think this is
the platform's main
like
source
this whole thing is even
subscribers,
sustainable.
purchases,
If they're
partnerships
handing
with
out
brands,
this much money for
sponsorships,
people to
and
come
advertising.
onto the
However, Twitch
to the
users are becoming
platform,
frustrated with the high
but
number of non-skippable ads.
I
leading to a
like
huge
I don't
decrease in
foresee them
hours
knocking
watched
Twitch
and
off just
viewers.
because their whole thing is just for their whole entire platform is centered around gambling. And gambling, not that gambling isn't successful, but like it's like regulators eventually will catch up and make this platform a fucking relevant.
How is this allowed? 14 ads, 30 seconds each. What is going on?
And as Twitch continues to ban these big streamers, like the recently banned popular streamer Kai, who quickly became one of the most subscribed creators in the platform.
Oh,
this is
fucking
only
Kai's
making
seen it.
people
I've seen
more
it's another
resentful
fucking
towards the
idiot.
site.
There's
And
so many
because their
fucking people,
financial
and I'm
future
okay
is
with saying
getting
this. So many
shaky,
fucking
Twitch's
streamers
CEO
that are
is
just
reducing any
dipshit
creator
teenagers
70-30
in their
splits back down to 50-50
living rooms, just
no matter
gambling
how big
away
their
and just
influence is.
dicking
All while
around,
YouTube gaming in the live stream sector
like
is also
spending money
big.
on like.
Nearly 50%
Damn it! I
of the
hate this
market share
mission.
in the live streaming
I hate this
space.
mission so much.
Even though they're smaller than Twitch, they generated $29 billion last year in revenue, offering a 70-30 split for streamers, all while providing a whole YouTube channel for
Also,
these
I
streamers
feel
to
like
post
that's definitely going
allowing them to earn
to
even more
plummet
revenue. And things only became so
eventually.
much worse when Twitch announced one of the worst policies imaginable,
Hurt
a
streamers,
policy
yep,
that would have potentially driven away the majority
And
of
Twitch
its
does
streamers.
everything in their
Now, this
power
policy
to like
involves
be
sponsored
a
and branded
hostile,
content, limiting branded overlays to 3%
a
of the
hostile
stream and prohibiting audio
platform
ads during streams
people.
due to the audience pushback against ads and streams.
Really? Do I have
However,
to
this
run
caused
all the
concern among
fucking way back
streamers as
there?
the majority of their revenue comes from sponsorships and partnerships with other brands, all while also decimating esports organizations that rely on Twitch for advertising revenue and sponsorships to survive, showcasing more of Twitch's greedy decision-making that is driving away the streamers and users from the platform. Now, the reason they likely did this was to push all streamers to use Twitch for
scrap do we have?
sponsorships
40?
so that the company could
Yo,
get a
fuck
cut of
this.
their
We're
income.
just going to the
However,
boss
streamers like
Fuck all
XQC
this.
were outraged by this policy change, a change that was attempting to force them to comply with Twitch's insensitive program to take even more of their money, making a huge chunk of streamers actually move to Kick. And this policy change went viral on the internet, with people like Moist Critical gaining over 6 million views on the topic alone.
The title's not clickbait. There was a new policy on Twitch that was announced today that will legitimately destroy the platform, with the majority of streamers choosing to go elsewhere if it goes into effect.
And even Mr. Beast came out on Twitter, completely denouncing Twitch's new policy change.
Like, yeah,
eventually, after
why do people say even Mr. Beast? He's like an incredibly large
However, this
figure
brought up
in
many
like
questions for
online
streamers about their long-term future on the Twitch platform, and with
Like,
Kick offering out these huge new contracts.
It's not like it's
along
like
with
this
these
is big
crazy
enough to get
revenue
Mr. Beast.
It seemed like Kick was the way to go.
Large enough,
the future of
like,
streaming without
anything
censorship,
to get
more
his
money,
attention. It's not
and more
really-
personal
I don't really
freedom.
care
But
about
this
Mr.
would
Beast
come at a
that much.
cost. And so with Twitch's greedy
Yeah,
business
this dude
tactics,
looks like a
rampant
fucking
censorship,
child.
It looks like the site is finally
Alex
collapsing,
is.
which
I don't
is
know
a
how
great
old he
step
is, but
towards
like
moving away from
he
Silicon
looks
Valley's
like he's like
stranglehold on free speech.
15
and sets a
pretending to
precedent
be
that users
20.
don't want companies forcing them to believe certain narratives. And with Kick's aggressive growth strategy, coupled with its attractive revenue sharing model, and
I don't get why,
moderation
like this.
policies, it looks
Okay,
like the
whoever
site will
this is
finally
who
take
made
the
this
mantle.
video keeps
However,
doing
is this
like
actually a
this.
good thing? Saudi-funded
Oh, it's all
gambling site
about
controlling
like the ideology, or it's all about forcing
affecting a whole
narratives.
generation,
When
losing
it's
their money
not.
and ruining their
Like
lives,
Kick is
all with
about
the
making
push of the
money.
Saudi
They
rule
don't
family.
care about
While
narratives.
Twitch is degenerate and a sewer pipe of hedonism, is Kick really any better? Is the site just using
Wait,
free
Kick
speech
is
as a
worse.
tool
What
for
are you
shoving
talking
degenerate
about?
beliefs into the public
It's like so
consciousness?
much
I
worse.
guess only time will tell.
Gambling, like with your titty streams, like yeah, markedly worse. Anyway, okay. Well, that's. I said it earlier. I'm not like super. What's it called? I'm not the most like well-read person when it comes to the a lot of the content creator stuff. I'm just not. It's not really what I try to focus on. But let's see, where are we on the map? Okay, cool. We're pretty close. I think we got this in the bag. We have like 40 scrap. Like, I think we'll be okay. Can finally finish this one. But yeah, that makes me, yeah, the whole like ideological part of all of this is, while I don't think the main motivating factor, I certainly think it's the open and it's the part that they want to sell this on. They're selling it on, they're selling Kick to creators who aren't like, you know, who just want to make money. It's, you know, it's to people like Amaranth and stuff like that. They're selling this platform on its ability to make them money. Nothing wrong with that. You know, content creator is what you do. But more than that, they're selling it to people like Aiden Ross, like you know, I don't know XQC's politics, but like certainly, you know, they want to have these really normie, like non-controversial people to kind of balance out their you know, their Aiden Rosses and stuff. So, and you know, I'm sure if he ever wants it, you know, they'll have Andrew Tate on that platform. They'll house him there. You know, I'm sure they'll have no problem with that. So, you know, while you know, the selling point is the ideology, but the main thing that they're in this for is money making. Like there's a way to get some kids to gamble on, to gamble on their favorite streamer losing money at the slots, and that's what they're gonna do. You know, if they can make a buck doing that, if they can make a buck selling that kind of shit to your kids, then they'll do it. And it's funny to me that there are people who are going to be really, I think, or at the very least, you know, we hear a lot of indoctrination talk. You know, we hear constantly schools are indoctrinating children, Pride Month is indoctrinating children, this, that, and the other, right? Everything's indoctrinating your children. But somehow, like, online gambling rings, online gambling schemes, you know, these crypto schemes somehow, like, fall under the,
know what you're doing.
keep flying under the radar for a lot of these people. We're so concerned about like kids and their innocence, but like we're introducing them to gambling, to something highly addictive and like really, really negative for your, I don't want to say development. It's not development. It's like, it's not good for your mental health. But that isn't something that we've seen any focus on from conservatives or anybody really writ large. You don't see Republicans going after Kick. And when they do, there are going to be people who are going to complain about that. And we're going to be really upset that the Republican Party and everybody else is messing with their money, their revenue. God damn. All right, we got this time. We got this in the humble block. Crazy? We had 40. We had 40 in the inventory. No? Am I insane? Did I lose my mind at some point? I need to see what we have at the beginning of this fight. Like we had 40. I'm not crazy. Show me. Now I have 13? What the fuck happened to all my scrap? so fucking upset. I don't know how the fuck. I don't know what happened. We had. Am I crazy? We had 40, right? I'm not nuts. I'm gonna go back, and when I cut this out, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna be like, what? I had 40. Why do I suddenly only have 13 scraps? I didn't even upgrade anything. Like, that was the whole point. I was like, wait, why am I gonna upgrade anything? Yeah, like, why the fuck do I have 13? What? I had fucking 40. Like, I'm exactly where I was at the beginning of the last time. Even though I went out and, like, we resourced a bunch of shit. I'm like 2 seconds from just like being like, fuck this game, I'm gonna play something else. We're not even gonna finish it, because that's annoying as shit. It's like actually extra fucking annoying. I hate when video games do that shit. Okay, get out of my way. There was like scrap hanging around here. Go away. Oh shit, I fell to my death. Wow, okay, well, that's fucking infuriating. Maybe I'll just like eat this on my own time and I'm not even gonna bother, because that's fucking annoying. I'll try like one more time, but like that's fucking bullshit. That's such bullshit. Ugh. Also, they don't let you skip the stupid fucking cinematic either. Like, I've watched it like a million times now. Like, at least let me skip the cinematic if I've seen it before. But yeah, I'll do like... Oh, wait. X or tab? Oh, thank God. Okay. I don't think I ever noticed that. I'm not trying that again, and we're not returning to this. I'll probably just beat it on my own time, maybe later tonight after I edit or something. Let me... Oh, that's so fucking stupid. That's so fucking stupid. Yeah, what am I at now? 11. Idiotic. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Close that, close that. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah, what did we not get to? We didn't get to the temple video I wanted to watch, and the Michael Knowles one. We did not. Okay, so we'll watch those tomorrow, and then I'm sure we'll watch other stuff. There will also be the normal news that comes up. Otherwise, I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything for tonight. All right. See you all tomorrow, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. You know the usual. Goodbye. You all have a lovely night. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm going to be fine with your jokes, but I'm not sure about Dark Brandon. I'm going to be fine with your jokes, but I'm not sure about Dark Brandon.